Hello, and welcome to the Point in Progress podcast, episode 23, your one-stop shop for news, recommendations, and some spicy takes. Join 5 friends across 3 time zones and 2 countries every week as we discuss all things we love while still thinking critically about them. Damn that last line, but otherwise perfect. Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing today?
It's good. How are you doing?
I am trying to stick with it. It is hot outside, or at least muggy, but at the very least, we have this cool, nice air condition here, so I'm very happy about that. Of course, some people are not so lucky. Fee, how you feeling up there?
Thank God for central air.
You know?
I'm feeling absolutely abysmal at the moment, but we're here, we're vibing, we're excited to record the podcast. Hopefully I don't have some sort of heat stroke hallucination. We're in it to win it, guys. In it to fucking win it.
Honestly, if you do, it's just content.
Yeah,
it's content.
Straight content.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, we'll call the cops after like about 5 minutes. Like we'll call Canadian police to come scoop you up, but at least give us the 5 minutes, you know?
No, for sure. And if one of your board games catches on fire, just let it burn. Just let it burn. It's all useless cardboard.
If one catches fire, they all catch fire.
That is right.
I mean, yeah, but it's content.
No, that's not content. That is.
I'm going to full screen you. It'll be fantastic. Well, it sounds like everyone's in a good mood. Of course, this week we are Sans one member. Beard in the Hair is having a lovely little vacation, a little lovely vacation, if you will. Spending time. He has the week off. That's all I'll say.
Damn it, Mario.
That's all I'll say.
Why do you have to make things weird?
Because it's love, and I love love.
Mario.
Who doesn't love love? I don't know what you guys are talking about. You're the sickos. So, of course, I picked the most flattering photo of Harv possible to be our showcase. So, until next week, we'll hear from him. But till then, we have a little bit of housekeeping that we need to get through. Of course, happy birthday, Seb.
They're all from me.
They're all from you, so you can go ahead and explain most of the housekeeping. Go for it.
What is this housekeeping?
All right. Well, happy birthday, Sebastian Stan.
Oh God,
Fuck Sebastian Stan.
Shout out.
Who cares about Sebastian
today,
Stan?
As of recording, I do. Also, a me housekeeping note. Shout out to the goat, Sue Bird, and Diana. See you in Paris, Terrassi. Are we gonna see them hit 6 Olympics? Maybe. We'll see in 4 years. I'm excited. I'm pumped.
Who are these people?
We got the gold.
they're all clearly Olympians.
Oh. People are actually watching the Olympics?
Players. 5-time Olympic gold winners, Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi. Excuse
Guys,
you.
all I know is Canada won the soccer, like women's soccer this year. So hashtag Canada's the best. Hashtag.
No.
Shout out to Canada. Canada has a trans player on their soccer team, and that's all I know about them. RIP for U.S. soccer team, because I would have really loved to see Pino and Bird both come home with gold, but they both medaled, so that's all that matters.
See, there was a whole saga
Yeah.
about Canada not almost getting it for multiple Olympics, and then they finally got it. So it was
Yeah, shout out to Canada, but
shout out to Canada.
I'm disappointed.
Shout out to those.
Nope.
Shout out to Canada. Shout out to Canada Dry. Have you guys ever had Schweppes?
Schweppes is way better than Canada Dry.
Schweppes
Canada
is
Dry is trash.
Schweppes
No.
tastes like fucking soap.
When did we
Yeah,
turn?
That
Schweppes
shit
Into,
is
is
disgusting.
when did we turn to a ginger ale podcast?
No.
Let me. I got some Schweppes this week just because I thought it was the same shit, and I drank it, and I'm like, why does everything I taste like fucking soap? And I realized it was the Schweppes.
No, yeah, okay, so
That's like a you problem.
Kelsey tried to get me on some sort of a different ginger ale brand, did not work. It's dumb. Canada Dry.
Schweppes is terrible.
Canada Dry for ginger ale.
Canada Dry has no taste. It's
Yeah,
nothing.
it tastes like
There's
it
no
tastes like
taste to it.
it tastes like
nothing.
it tastes like ginger ale to me.
People.
The other
it's
one
called,
is just tastes like
It's called Canada Dry. It's dry. It's in the name. It's terrible.
it's obviously not dry if you're drinking it, Mario.
Sure. Whatever.
I'm gonna end this ginger beer discussion on craft is the best way to go for ginger beer, and anything else is just subpar.
Now we're talking about beer. Anyways, shout out.
No, ginger beer.
Okay, shout out.
We're talking about ginger.
Shout out to those two Olympians that both tied and shared the medal. I thought that was the best story in the Olympics.
That was so cute.
That was the sweetest thing.
Someone keeps trying to delete my
Wait,
my housekeeping.
Yes, because your housekeeping is
you have baddies.
Is this the person talking about
okay,
Bastion stand for a housekeeping? What is this?
Anyways, order. I also
Birthday today.
I
cares?
also want to say happy Friday the 13th. It is, of course, Jason's birthday. We want to talk about Jason. Shout out to Jason, not to his mother. That was a bad movie. And we'll go
Shout out
from
Jason's beheaded mom just chilling in a cabin somewhere.
there. Yes.
Shout out Kelsey. It's her favorite holiday.
Hey, shout out to Kelsey. I miss both her and Michael. So we're done with the checkpoint. We're done talking about Canada Dry
And fucking Sebastian Stan.
Sebastian Stan.
aren't you gonna see Kelsey in like a month anyway?
Oh yeah, you're right. We are. We
Yeah.
will be
I don't know if that's still happening. I'll be real with you.
To be fair, it's crossed my mind because it might or may not happen due to the way the world is.
I mean, you guys had Lollapalooza. Y'all.
Yeah, I think that's why we won't have it.
That's probably why, because the way that looked was
we won't
insane.
have it because of Lollapalooza.
So, and I'm honestly like scared, to be totally honest, to see how much people density there was at there. Even if I'm vaccinated, even if Frank's vaccinated, I don't trust people. I
think Lollapalooza is a bigger.
It is definitely probably a
event.
bigger thing. There are still multiple stages, and rock music's rowdy, so that's why I'm like.
Here's the thing. Like, okay,
Bring a knife.
yeah, it was smaller most years, but this year's like, hey, everyone got that vaccine. Let's go do stupid shit, and then like
True.
everyone gets the Delta variant, and everyone dies.
I love that Frank's solution to avoiding COVID was bring a knife.
Oh, it gets too close. Fucking pull that shit out. Nobody's gonna get closer.
6 feet.
Who gets closer
6
to a
feet.
knife?
Fucking 6 feet, all right.
Who the fuck gets closer to a knife, dude?
Just
Like you get
saying.
away from it.
Okay, if I learned anything from a specific game this week, all you need is that 6-foot claymore, and no one's gonna fuck with you.
Exactly.
Just, like, spin
Just
it
pull out.
around.
This podcast already off the rails. Let's go
This
ahead.
podcast brought to you by
Already off the rails.
Medieval Swords.
Before we leave the COVID talk real quick,
Uh-huh.
shout out to whoever fired Laura Osnes. Good
Who?
on you. She doesn't deserve to be working. She's a Broadway actor, very famous, very talented, didn't get vaccinated, wouldn't disclose her status. She got fired. Shout out to the people who fired her. Love to see it.
Get
Way to go,
fucked,
people.
person.
Yeah,
I don't
get
know.
fucked. Yeah,
Get
get fucked,
fucked.
Broadway person. Also, shout out to the fucking white dude standing outside GameStop coughing up a storm. I'm pretty sure you gave COVID to like 5 people at this point.
Thanks to Beard and Hair in the chat saying, "Look at all these peeps." Hello, Do you love your photo of yourself? Do you love that what we did to you?
Yeah,
The taxidermy. That's what it is. Anyways, what have we been playing, everybody?
it's a puppet. We just shove our hand up his butt. Just
Frank, I'm gonna go to you since you got puppet hands. What have you been playing? What have you been up to?
I've been playing that Final Fantasy 14. I love it. I've been leveling up all my classes so that we can do more MSQ on Monday. We played Back for Blood this week. I think it's pretty good. I think it's a little generic, but I think generic is kind of what we need right now. You know what I mean? I think we need a really easy generic shooter, not anything too crazy, just in and out. You know what I mean? Other than that, I've been watching True Detective. I've gotten through the first 2 seasons in a few days. By the way, great show because it's only like 8 episodes. Easy 8 episodes,
Time's
really
a
quick
flat
in.
circle.
Fee?
I would just like to ask the
Exciting.
audience, has anyone ever heard anyone call a detective a dick? Because I had
Yes.
not until this. Okay, it must be a Chicago thing because like Sly and I are
Might
here,
be.
like, what the
It might
fresh
be.
hell you guys are talking about? Because I
It's-
thought you were going to talk about a pornography, which then I had to like.
I abbreviate. So in the document, the reason why they're saying that, the reason in the document today, I put in instead of saying True Detective, I put in True Dick because I didn't feel like typing out detective. And apparently nobody's ever heard a detective be called a dick before.
I've never heard that before, so I literally thought that you were going to like talk about a pornography, and I'm like, dude, that is
No,
ballsy.
no.
Like,
If I was to talk about if I were to talk about any kind of if I were to talk about any kind of porn, it wouldn't be True Dick. I will tell you that. I would pick a better name than True Dick for a fucking porn cast, alright, Fee?
Oh, we said we were gonna be so professional on this show, and look what happened.
I was just laughing because I said that was ballsy.
Yeah. Oh my god, Fee. Oh my god. Harv in the chat saying Bible Black. Yep.
God.
No.
We need Jesus.
I would probably pick Bible Black over anything called True Dick. I'll be real with you.
Bible Black will not save anyone.
Oh, Bible Black ain't saving anything.
Mario, what have
It's
you
only
been playing?
Bible. Wait, hold on. I do want to talk about True Detective though. True Detective is really good. True Detective.
You've lost your privileges.
Nope.
You got
True
this. You
Detective
got this.
is
You got this.
a great show, a great metaphysical show. It makes you really think, in terms of just about life, you know,
Yeah.
like how we're so small in a world so big, and even somebody who is as close to genius levels of intellect is small in comparison to like the 1%. You know, it's absolutely baffling how crazy that show is. And even in its second season, just like the idea of like we've been here before, we've lived many lives, and it's a wonder of how many lives we've actually lived, because we don't live the same life over and over again, and we don't have memories of our past lives. But you don't know how many times we've had this same conversation before in past lives with different people. You know what I mean? It's a crazy show. It's really about the just how these detectives take this case, because it's for the most part a straightforward like conspiracy case, but how it changes the people within the show, and even in the second season, how it changes the way you perceive how cops work. Right? It's baffling. I haven't seen the third season yet. I've heard good things about the third season.
I've heard
Blade is in it.
Yeah, Blade is in it.
I can never remember his name.
Mahershala Ali.
There you go.
But I did want to ask you, because I know that this show specifically has had like ups and downs with it. True Detective season 1 is considered like a masterpiece. 2, people were not enjoying as much. What is your feelings as someone that's sort of been separate from the general talk?
What was the question again?
So when season 1 came out, it was regarded as like sort of like a classic, like actually really great, like a masterpiece. Then season 2 came out, and not a lot of people were highly receptive on it. As someone who's watching it straight through, like from season 1 to season 2, what are your thoughts on it?
Season 1's definitely better in terms of just how they shot it, and like it feels like a retrospective almost of
Sure.
like what happens in the first case, and then it leads into the second case, which you can tell, like, judging by what they've seen in the first time, there's a good reason why they would come back to it. The second season, I feel like, plays more on the it definitely plays more on the detective side.
Sure.
Of like the job, but it's the overall like escalation of it, you know, whereas season 1 kind of escalated when they figured out, oh, this happened, whereas season 2, like, it starts low and just gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger until like you realize, holy shit, there's this whole Illuminati, and it's like, fuck, what do we do now? You know what I mean? But it does play on a lot of the same themes as the first season, whereas at least with Matthew McConaughey is talking about living multiple lives. There's a fun little bit in the second season where somebody tells somebody, hey, you have an aura to you, this green and black aura that I've never seen before. You must have lived many lives. And they keep this theme going, and it's definitely fascinating to see, you know, just how the show progresses. And I'm very curious at how the third season progresses. Like, they're definitely different seasons altogether. They're both good in their own right. If you wanted to watch only one season, I'd say watch season 1, but season 2 is just as good in its own way.
Man, interesting.
That's basically all I've been doing this week.
Interesting.
Okay. Well, that's That's interesting because I know you've tackled Sopranos first, then you jumped over to The Wire, and now you're trying out another HBO show. I can't wait till you start True Blood. That's going to be the best adventure ever. So
Probably won't. I'll be honest with you. I've never been into the. I'll be real with you. I've never been into like the. I know I'm into like vampires and Castlevania and all that, but I've never been into live action versions of it.
Fair enough.
Like Supernatural is probably the farthest I'll go, and then I'll just end it there. You know?
No, totally. I'm just joking. No. But 6 Feet Under is probably one of the more well-known HBO show. That'd be interesting if you were to check that out. But good on you, enjoying Final Fantasy and all the fun TV shows. Fiona, what have you been consuming this week?
Well, I've been playing a game called Final Fantasy 14. But I'm not going to specifically talk about that because we talk about that every week. I have been into a freaking deep dive of true crime, like YouTube, you name it. I've been watching actual like court cases, like just out of sheer curiosity. And what is actually pretty interesting, and it kind of reminded me what my goodness, what Frank was talking about when it came to True Detective, was like there was a case that actually just recently closed. I don't know if you guys heard about it, but it was a guy named Rodney O'Neill, and he actually killed his baby mama, killed his daughter, and then stabbed his son in the back, and his son
I remember this. Yes.
And he was his own attorney.
I didn't know about the own attorney part.
It was crazy. It was obscene. It was really difficult, especially when he cross-examined and specifically like talked to his son who he had stabbed. Anyway, it is a very difficult watch, and one thing that was very interesting was like when I found out that there's the trial and then there's the sentencing, and then after the sentencing is done, a judge has an opportunity to speak their mind because the entire time a judge is very quiet. They can't say anything other than like overruled stuff like that. But she said, I've been a judge for 19 years. I have seen everything in every way someone can kill another person. This has been one of the most disturbing cases that's ever come across my desk. And what's even more upsetting is your daughter, like his daughter had disabilities, and she specifically said that like what I've been told in the past is people get to choose like what lives they get, like specifically when it comes to like this is the lives that you have an option to go into, and she specifically chose that life, and she was like one of the strongest people that she'd ever known because she went through so much chaos and so much like through her short life. She was a very young girl, but like people are crazy. Like it's not even like it's not like yeah, there's like watching it on a TV show, but then like these are actual people, and like it's very odd. Also, I saw like there was one in particular. It was you get to see from the beginning to like the end of this entire thing through CCTV, which is like cameras that are found around a city, specifically in New Zealand. Also very interesting. But yeah, would highly recommend people like Bozy does true crime. She also does really cool things where she'll like harp her room and say like, okay, this is what happens when you hit someone with a hammer, and she does this on live stream on Twitch, which like I think that's pretty interesting because she's just like, okay, we're just gonna watch and look at a bunch of stuff. And then obviously Bailey Sarian, who did some really good stuff this week, where she talked about the difference between cocaine and crack. And if you know the difference, there's not much.
Not much.
And it's all due to it's racially driven.
Yes. That's actually one of the biggest things about The Wire, is how we won't get to it here, but it's definitely racially driven.
Well, as someone who never experienced any of that or has any previous knowledge, it was very interesting to watch or listen to an entire podcast for 1 hour about it and how it affected the United States from its creation to present day. So it is a very good listen. Highly would recommend. And I also what's up?
You should do. There's these like unsolved like cold case files that you can get and then like try to solve like murders. You should totally do that.
Here's the thing. Bailey Sarian actually gets sponsored by them, and you can get a discount through her because
oh my god, I love that.
I love it. By the way, probably one of the most attractive YouTubers I've ever seen in my life. By the way, just chef's kiss. I've made one day I just put one on and made Harv Frank and Mario.
Oh, I
watching
think I remember
episode.
this. Yeah.
I put this on
It's
and
the
I'm like,
makeup
guys,
one, right?
it is. It's
Yeah.
murder like makeup Monday, and then she has like her whole opening, and just such a delight. So good. I really appreciate it. And she's just really, really good. So highly recommend her podcast and her videos. If you haven't watched them before, it is a trip. An absolute fucking trip. She talked about Did she talk about the chess killer this week, or was it another one? I don't remember. It's been a while. This entire week feels like a month. Whew!
Yeah.
Sweet. That's it for me.
Fantastic.
Choo
Well,
choo.
both you and Frank are on the murder train. So
Yeah, dude.
Choo choo.
All that good detective stuff.
I would love to.
Yeah, I think you would love True Detective. I think it's easy 8 episodes. I'll watch it with you.
Okay, we can.
I'll
watch
rewatch.
it because
I have to rewatch the first season anyway because that they put a lot of shit in that first season.
They do.
because we have to get it on iTunes, and I do not have iTunes.
There you go.
Oh yeah,
He
we
broadcasts it for
can.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, we can stream it.
I mean,
watch it.
we cannot do that. DMCA internet people,
I
sorry.
don't give a fuck. Fuck
do.
you, FCC.
But yes, that sounds awesome. I would love to be in an escape room with both of you, just figuring out all the clues and being safe.
I got
Easy.
We should do an escape room as PiP. That sounds
I
like a great
look. I
bonding
play
activity.
Danganronpa. All right. I know how to escape a room.
I've seen the movie Escape Room and Escape Room Tournament of Champions.
I'm-
Not great films, but I don't want to be in that situation.
I'm very good at detective games, guys. So
I yes, we all know. We all know, and I'm happy. That's why I want you to be on my team. That's why I want you to be on my team when it comes to.
is this the right way for you guys? It says point in progress.
Oh God, you actually
It's
wrote
in
it.
re-
It's in reverse, but hey, it looks awesome.
No, it looks good. It looks good on my screen. I don't know.
It's
It
reverse
looks
on
good to me.
our
on the
on the stream. It's reversed.
yeah.
Yeah.
On ours, it's fine.
You're flipped
Oh.
because
Rip.
you're okay. Hold on, give me 1 second. There we go. Pausing the podcast. Oh, hold on. I
No,
flipped.
it's fine. No,
I
it's
flipped
fine.
the wrong thing.
What did you flip?
I flipped the border. The border had our names flipped backwards, like we were. Like we
no,
were. There you
no,
go.
it's
Now,
fine. You don't need to do
Chaos.
that. You don't need to do.
Beauregard.
Chaos corner.
Sly, what have you been up to?
I'm going to start with a game that came out yesterday called Fire Tonight. If y'all remember the indie game about the like fires that break out in the city and you have to get across the city, it's like a puzzly game. Gorgeous, beautiful. I love the art. It's been super fun. Not super far into that because it just came out, but I've been playing that. In addition, I drunkenly bought Avengers, and y'all,
Yes.
that's a good game.
Yes.
I don't know if it's because I went into the game with like absolutely like no expectations but I'm like really enjoying it. Like I just finished the first like story part. I kind of like mainlined through the first story. And so I still have to do all the like side missions
Avengers
or
Day stuff,
whatever
right?
and stuff. Yeah, I have to do that next after I finish cleaning up some of the side missions for like the factions and stuff.
Gotcha.
But I'm having so much fun. And like I don't vibe with like all the characters' playstyles. But Nat
Hello.
feels great. I love playing as Nat.
Mm.
Oh,
you're
Cap's
pretty
been
far.
fun. I thought I really liked Kamala, like playing as Kamala while I was playing through the story. But now that I'm not forced to play as her, I'm not digging it as much.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm sure Hulk feels great if you like playing a tank, but that's just not my style. So I've been mostly Nat and Cap and a little bit of Thor as well. Just playing around.
Okay.
No strategy whatsoever. I'm just
Yeah.
enjoying myself and going for it.
Oh, okay, I thought you were talking about the gameplay.
No, me personally, like
Oh, okay.
I should be like focusing on like one character leveling them up, focusing on
Oh,
the next
yeah.
leveling whatever.
Yeah.
I'm going with my gut, like
Sure.
whatever I feel. I'm just
Yeah,
vibing.
haven't found
it's a
a
dead
main
game
yet.
anyway.
I'm
You
having a
could
good time.
once you get to the end game, then you're gonna be like, oh.
No, not
Yeah.
even. There's more stuff
I'm-
after the
I'm-
end game
I'm
that
just vibing.
they
I
have
mean,
to do.
that game
I-
is literally all end game now. But
No, they
So
keep
I
adding
haven't
new
touched
stuff every
any
week.
of the Hawkeye stuff.
Yeah, the
I haven't
Hawkeye
touched any of
stuff.
the Hawkeye stuff yet. And then next week with the Black Panther stuff coming out, right?
The whole
There's
episode.
still a lot of content.
I'm
I haven't
sure
touched yet,
all 11
so.
of you now will enjoy
Again,
all that.
you're going to be on the wrong side of history when this next drops, because a lot of people are talking about
sure.
it and getting more excited for it again, and I'm happy about that. Especially,
I'm sure all 12 of 12 of the Facebook group is really
all right,
looking forward to that.
all right, say what you want to say, but otherwise, yeah, I'm happy that you're trying it out. It's funny you haven't found a main yet, because I mean, you still have some other characters to discover and decide what is more of your play style.
Yeah, I
and
haven't
then
touched Clint or Kate yet, so I'm excited to get into that.
yeah,
For sure.
and then the villain sectors and all
But
the other stuff
speaking
too.
of, speaking of being on the wrong side of history,
Oh,
I didn't realize how many people actually liked Peggy Carter.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know if it's I love Emily Van Camp, and so with all of the stuff that happened there, with like Haley Atwell being kind of shitty. So I don't know if that's
what?
like
Hold on.
influence.
Unpack that. What did you just say? For what? As a person?
Haley
or on the
Atwell
show?
is
So Haley Atwell treated Emily Van Camp like really badly, especially right around the time that Civil War came out, right when Agent Carter got canceled. I think it was like the same week or something. And Haley Atwell made a lot of mean comments about Sharon Carter and Emily Van Camp. And I mean,
to be fair, if you were an actress who was in one movie, right, and keep in mind, Agent Carter has like a history in these comics, right, and then you're almost immediately replaced by another actress, and for more movies than you've been in before Agent Carter, I'd be kind of pissed too. I'd be a little salty.
She's only been in like 2. Agent Carter's been like
Well, she
4.
was in 2, whereas Haley Atwell was in like 1 before Agent Carter.
I'm
No, she was in
pretty
4.
sure that Haley Atwell has some sort of unbreakable vow, weird voodoo thing on Kevin Feige, because she keeps appearing in everything, and I just need us to move on.
Yeah,
No.
We don't need
even
Peggy Carter
because if
in
I
every
remember
single
correctly too,
place.
even Agent Carter was on like just a random network when it was
No, it was
supposed
on
to be
ABC.
something bigger.
No, it was ABC.
Well, yeah, a random
It was
network.
That's not a random network. That's ABC.
Pretty-
That's owned by Disney.
If I remember correctly, it did not do well even on that network.
None of those shows did well.
Exactly. She got the short end of the
But
stick.
the thing is that she's a way more established character. She had obviously the one movie, but she has one part obviously in Civil. Well, not Civil War. I'm sorry. She has the part in Winter Soldier. She's in Ant-Man. She's still an established person that was throughout the whole tenure, all the way up to now. Now she has.
Well,
Agent
now
Carter.
she has more pieces in that cinematic universe. Probably after complaining a lot.
No, but Ant-Man happened before. I don't know about that.
I want to wrap up my thoughts on What If real quick. I'm not going to spoil anything. If you want to know my thoughts, basically go check out the Stark Radio after party that was with Liz and Alexis Baker Reads Comics. I watched that live. It was great. They have a lot of similar thoughts as I did. And all I want to say, no spoilers context spoilers. All I want is a sweatshirt that's a fish driving a Jeep. And if you've watched the episode, you'll get that. If you haven't, you won't, and that's fine. But that's all I want in my life.
Got it. Yeah, no, I also watched What If, and I really enjoyed it because I'm a huge First Avengers fan. So that was love right there. That's what I loved very much. So I'm excited for the rest of the show.
I love First Avenger. I wish they did more.
I mean, they only got the 30 minutes. That's it.
Yeah, that's the beauty of What If comics.
Okay,
it's like you only get the one.
I wish they didn't just follow the story.
I'm glad we had all this wonderful discussion. I'll try to be a little bit quicker.
Oh, that's right. We still got to do your stuff.
I know. We didn't even have Harv this week.
It's been 41 minutes.
I love it. I love this. Of course, I finished Death's Door. It's a fantastic movie, fantastic game, actually. It's did everything that I needed to do in that game, and honestly, it's definitely up there as part of my favorite games that I played this year. So if you haven't played it, it is awesome. believe right now it's on PC and Xbox, so definitely give it a shot. It's only $20. You could probably get it on sale shortly, and I highly recommend it as just a both meditative game as well as a pain in the ass roguelike slash Soulsy like game. So definitely check that out. All this fever over me and Frank watching The Sopranos, I finally decided, you know what, I'm gonna take the plunge, and I decided to finally watch The Godfather for the very first time. And the movie holds up. The movie definitely holds up. And honestly, being involved in sort of The Sopranos really helped, I think, because it helped me understand the politics as well as the hierarchy when it comes to the families and how the system sort of works. I think that the movie actually ages pretty beautifully in terms of color and music and the way that they tell the story. It's very vignettes where the story is told through, I think, over the course of like a couple years, but there's like sections that evolve into other sections. I think does a pretty solid well. I know that they say Godfather 2 is the best, so I'm very excited to start that one. I hear it's very much a dual story. It's interesting. Godfather, probably considered one of the best movies of all time. The sequel then has dual stories with two different characters, which is very much like my favorite game, The Last of Us, and Metal Gear Solid 2. So I'm very excited to watch Godfather and continue that journey. Lastly, the game that I've been wanting to talk about since I started playing it, and thank you to Papa Agenda who provided me with access to the game. I am, of course, talking about Boyfriend Dungeon, which if you haven't tried it yet, it's on Game Pass. It's awesome. It is, you play as a character who you can decide your pronouns, you can decide your look, whoever you are. And basically you move to a new town and your cousin's there and he's trying to set you up on a date with a sword, which just so happens to be either a boy, girl, or any specific gender. They are people that you can go on dates with and they have experiences with and get to know. And you can level up each other's skills. And then you go into what is called a dunge, which is short for dungeon. And you actually go through different levels of dungeons, similar in the way of like how a Persona game works when you go to Mementos. So you're basically going down, you go to a mall basically, and you're fighting creatures, but the creatures are manifestations of your fears. And so it's old record machines throwing records at you. It's like TVs. It's like flip phones. It's like all these weird, like crazy things that you would find in a mall or things that you would like have fear of change and past. So it's sort of an idea about technology. So I thought that this game is wild in its concept, but remains very sweet and poignant. And there's definitely a level of care in this game specifically. Specifically, the game opens up asking you, hey, there's going to be a person named Mom that texts you throughout the game. Is that okay? For people that may or may not have that in their life. So who might be sensitive towards that. So you can turn that off so that person, which, it's interesting because that person has a force in the game. So I'm very curious how that is to not have that or how they handle it in a different playthrough. But yeah, I highly recommend it. The game is gorgeous. It's going to have the same level of, how can I describe it? Beautiful energy of how people were lusting after characters like Hades. If everyone saw the image, characters look very similar to that. So it's definitely going to be largely talked about. So definitely recommend it. It is called Boyfriend Dungeon. It is, like I said, Xbox or on PC right now. It's on Switch. And definitely recommend it. So definitely.
That's a game I heard of for the first time in like 2017, like my freshman year of college. Mm-hmm. And like everybody was like in my friend group was like so excited for this and so obsessed with this. And I just have not thought about it for like 3 years. And then everybody's been talking about it this week. And I'm like, oh shit, right, that exists.
Yeah.
So I definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, I'm having a good time. Currently, my number one boy is 7, which is a lightsaber sword, who is also in a K-pop band. So you can find definitely many different personalities. Another person is Sunder, who may or may not be a vampire. I'm very excited about that one. And then, of course, some other characters that I will not spoil. So definitely check this out. Like I said, it's on PC. I believe it's like $20. Or if you have Game Pass, you can check it out on Game Pass.
Yeah,
it's also on
it's-
xCloud.
Yeah, it's free on Game Pass.
Yeah, so definitely give it a shot. I highly, highly recommend Boyfriend Dungeon, which I will hopefully finish shortly. But that has been what we've been playing. We've been watching and consuming a lot, so let's go ahead and move on over to our second segment, which of course is the patch notes.
Yeah, we're gonna get through this pretty quick.
Yeah,
let's go patch notes this week.
Send it off the front.
So I'm just going to jump right in here. Our first piece of news this week comes from IGN's Jared Moore. U.S. politicians call on developers to reduce predatory game design. So, guys, earlier this week, politicians in the U.S. wrote a letter to a dozen game companies calling on companies to better protect young people from predatory business practices. The letters call to companies such as Walt Disney and Epic to adhere to the UK's age-appropriate design code, which starts on September 2nd. I have a quote here from one of the U.S. senators. Loot boxes go one step further, encouraging purchases before a child even knows what the bundle contains, akin to gambling. On top of that, they also talk about how social interactions can cause peer pressure into buying microtransactions. And then, of course, the U.S. doesn't have any kind of law protecting children like the U.K. is doing here. They do have a law, the COPPA law, or Children's Online Privacy Protection Rule. Basically prohibiting sites or corporations from retaining data on children 13 or under.
Yep.
So guys, how do we I don't think we had this conversation yet about microtransactions. This is why I wanted to talk about it this week. I know some of us do play games like Fortnite. I know some of us are very hard no on microtransactions, but and then some of us are actually getting into games like Avengers, which are very heavy on microtransactions. So what do we think about microtransactions in general? Do we think like they actually add anything to gaming? Do we hate them? What are our thoughts on that? And then what are our thoughts on the senators sending out these letters to companies to adhere to the new UK law?
It's funny that they say that loot boxes are akin to gambling because they're literally just gambling. Like,
I agree.
there's no distinction there. It's literally just gambling. I think that it's definitely a problem, and people can feel pressured or feel compelled to purchase them. I've never really gotten into microtransactions. I don't care if they're there. I care if it feels like you need to buy them to play a game.
Yeah.
Sure.
So like if it feels like it's like a pay to win kind of deal with the microtransactions, I don't vibe with that. In general, I mean, when it's targeted towards adults, whatever, people have, logical thinking skills, but in kids games or games where the audience is primarily children, that's when it gets sketchy. And so it's important to have legislation that protects people who can't make rational decisions yet because their brains aren't fully formed.
I'm trying to think of and generally like which major games are still rocking loot boxes specifically, and the only one that I could think of on the top of my head is Overwatch. Overwatch, I think, still has the abundance of people wanting to get the latest skins and being sort of encouraged to buy in sort of these random drawings, as opposed to something like, let's just say, Avengers, which I just learned this recently when I was playing with a group of friends. Kevin Diaz, PlayStation Source, played with him on his stream, and he actually blew my mind. So all the characters in Avengers, whenever they announce new skins, they don't just go away. They're not temporary things. They're actually in the marketplace. You can find them, and you can buy the specific one you want. So if the like, for instance, Captain America, the first Avengers movie suit is coming. So that will not just be a limited time thing. It will actually be associated with Captain America throughout the game whenever you want. So I think that's pretty
Okay, Lyd, I might buy that.
Well, that means that you can buy all the cinematic universe skins because they're all available for the characters now. You can just go to the individual character profile. There's a list of all the suits. So that, I think that was actually a super smart way for people to enjoy that content if you want. Again, it's all optional. It has nothing to do with improving your character in the game. It's really just all cosmetic looks, and you can spend your money responsibly in that way. Obviously, there are people that take it too far. and there's always going to be that. But I think that at least certain games have done the responsible thing versus others. The other one that I want to put both a good note but also a bad note on, and that's Fortnite. I'm currently still playing Fortnite. I just finally got my Clark Kent / Superman skin. It obviously came with if you buy the Battle Pass. I am, of course, a part of the Fortnite crew, which means I get the Battle Pass regardless, and I get 1,000 V-Bucks a month and the free skin every month. Because I enjoy the game, and that's how I decide to spend my time with it. However, new characters show up in the store, which is presentable. They're presented, right? You can see them. If you want to buy them, they're there. They go away, and you don't know when they're going to come back. Previous to that, back in the day in old battle passes, when you would buy a battle pass, and let's just say you're at level, it's a 100 level battle pass, you get to level 70, but if you want to get the skin that you want, they put it at the higher level. So they'll put it at like a level 190 or whatever. So let's just say John Wick, right? John Wick was like a level 100 skin. Well, I didn't finish the battle pass that season, so therefore I am out of luck when it comes to getting John Wick, even though I paid for the battle pass at that point. So those skins are locked in. Like people that did the Marvel season, they can't get Wolverine because it was a special thing you can get at the time. You can't get the Deadpool skin because it was tied to that battle pass. Now, unless of course they rectify this in the future, which I think Halo is actually going to bring on that change when it comes to buying battle passes, where no matter what, you could still unlock things in the old battle passes if you purchase them. So I think that's going to be the way to do it. That's where I'm caveating them. It's like, to me, it's like it forcing people the incentive to buy them and then try to grind to like get it. And the only way to grind to get levels in the original Fortnite was to buy battle pass stars to like level yourself up. So they definitely de-incentivize that this time around with this season, but still, I think that is a problem, and I really want that to be somewhat rectified. Like I said, I really praise Avengers for certain things. I think the marketplace is the smartest thing that I've seen. But that's my general thoughts on all of this.
Like, I can understand why certain games, like, for example, Fortnite, they make their money off of freaking, like, specifically game, like, loot passes and the limited skins. Do I think they're definitely trouble, especially for kids? Absolutely. I think it's been, like a literal thing that we've seen, like, at least once a month for the past decade, if not more, where you see, like, on the news, oh, this kid used $1,000 worth of their parents' credit card because they were buying stuff for Fortnite, or they were doing things for League of Legends, or they were buying, because League still exists.
Mm-hmm.
League still has those fucking skins that people still buy on a regular basis. And so
Roblox is another one too.
Roblox is a huge one. I know, for at least for myself, for like a long time, up until a certain point, and I'm not going to talk about this on specifically stream, but there was a game, like a mobile game that I used to play, and I would like buy like loot boxes and stuff for it specifically, and like things to like get bonuses. I don't support them anymore, so I've stopped completely. But I'm an adult. I can do that because I'm an adult. I literally use my own freaking money. I use my credit card and then cry at the end of the month when I look at it. But it's one of those things where like I can do that because I'm an adult. And if they want to do things like loot boxes, like kids, unless they're like, I don't know, it's a very weird situation because it is like gambling, or things like Genshin Online is a massive one for like loot boxes and like, oh, I have to get the specific like 5-star character and stuff like that. And so a lot of the free games, I understand they do that to make money, but it is also the double-edged sword of literally allowing kids to gamble. And also,
I think sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, yeah, I was just gonna say that like, and it's the same thing for like, if it like Fortnite and other games that you can get or that are free to play. At the same time, it's not okay for these kids to be spending a ton of money on it. I don't know.
I think one of the things games can do to make it to still preserve that is if there's a way to like earn in-game currency through playing the game, where you can earn that currency and then spend it on things, or use real money to acquire that in-game currency. Having that option is a really easy way to make it a little more friendly towards younger folks who don't have access to a card, so they still feel like they're participating in that ecosystem.
See, I think the main problem with this whole loot box dilemma, with especially children, is not the fact that they're getting loot boxes themselves. I think it mainly comes from the peer pressure of other people that they're playing with that causes these kids to spend so much money on these games. Like, you have an exclusive skin in Fortnite. You're telling me you don't have the Superman skin? You're a fucking scrub, kid.
That.
Like, you don't have, you're still rocking the rookie skin? How dare you? You know what I mean? It's shit like that real, and then kids will obviously go, well, I don't want to be a fucking scrub. I want to be cool. I'll ask mom for $20 so I could buy this skin. It's that constant peer pressure, and it's making skins and stuff exclusive only to a certain time period is another shady business practice in that same regard.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, guys, you guys don't have the Superman skin right now. It's only for a week. What are you gonna do afterward? You're not gonna get the skin, like $20. You can that's two, you know, the kid living in Beverly Hills, that's chump change. That's what he gets every day, you know what I mean? But it's shit like that drives up like people's credit cards and stuff like that. And I know even as a kid, I was super peer pressured into a bunch of shit. I used to buy RuneScape Premium. I didn't use half the shit RuneScape Premium even did, but my friends had it, and so I had to have it. And then, you know, stuff like Counter-Strike, where, like, if you remember, like, their private servers and stuff like that, again, you know, kids are very easily manipulated. You know how many kid admins that were paying $7 a month to be an admin in a server just so they can kick and ban people? Like, it's crazy what kids will do to be accepted into these communities, especially in a community like in video games right now, where as soon as you hear a fucking squeaker kid, you kick them out. So every kid wants to be fucking cool right now. So they'll do anything they can to buy these skins, and that's what kind of sucks about online gaming right now for anybody in general, because it's become more expensive. When we were growing up, it was you bought a game, and the only thing you really ever had to worry about is a map pack here and there. That was really kind of about it. You didn't have the map pack, of course you were getting peer pressured into buying that map pack because you couldn't play.
I'm happy you brought that up, because that was a similar thing in me, like where I had the Halo map pack, right? It was a physical thing in the store that you could buy, and going to school and like, oh, you don't have the maps? Well, then you can't play with us, you know? Like, it's you know, shit like that. So
yeah, and those map packs are like $20-$30 depending on the game. Given those are map packs, those are like expansions to a game, so I can kind of understand map packs. That's not my problem here. My problem is stuff that should already be in the game that you're leaving out, so then you can sell it as piecemeal to customers later on. Well, that's honestly, what I don't like.
It's that idea of false scarcity, like, oh, limited time, so people feel pressure that they have to get it now. That's a huge problem with the like false scarcity and the limited releases for digital products. Like, you can't run out. Like, there's no reason to restrict.
You can always put it back on the store, so there's no reason why. It doesn't cost you anything to keep it in your server. You obviously have to if people are loading these skins into the game. There's somewhere in that server that knows this skin exists, so there's no reason why somebody can't buy it. Like the fake exclusivity thing is annoying, but then you got like I don't know. It's just loot boxes in general, I don't think are very good for games. I feel like it's good for developers. It's always been good for the developer side, where they're making money. You know what I mean? They make money off the game, and then they make money off the microtransactions. I don't think in a game that costs $60 to $70 nowadays has any right to have a microtransaction policy, or any kind of policy where you have exclusive stuff that can only be bought or only be gained if you buy something, especially when you're paying for a game that's almost $100 nowadays. Free to play, you can, as long as it's not pay to win, I'm okay with it. If you're doing that in your free to play model, there can be some caveats, but I don't like the exclusivity thing that some companies do, where it's like you can only get this skin right now for $10 at an exclusive time. You can't earn it in game. You can't do that. Most of the games I play, you can technically earn those skins no matter what you do. just by playing the game, which I like. If you can at least earn those skins by not paying any cent, if you have to put a little bit more time and effort into the game, that's fine. That's how companies will have you engage with those games a little bit harder. But if your idea of bringing people in is a $10 battle pass that I can only get those skins through those $10 battle passes, and then having exclusive skins that you can only get at a certain time with money, that's where I have a big problem, because that is very predatory. Maybe not to you and me, because we're adults who spend our money how we see fit, but to a kid who's getting harassed online, or told like, hey, you're a scrub because you don't have X or Y. Everybody wants to be the cool kid, so of course they're going to pay for it. But that's what companies want. They want you to have that feeling. You know what I mean? And that's the intent that I get from these companies when they do something like that, is that they want these kids to become more of like the whale audience, which is what these companies are making these skins for. The whale audience, people are going to come in and spend their money over and over and over.
Yeah. And we can go on with this conversation in terms of talking about time savers and stuff that you can buy also in game, like Ubisoft games have those, and all
or
that
time
is,
or skips and stuff like that for
yeah.
levels and stuff. Yeah, it's shitty practices.
Yeah.
But I hope we get something along the lines here in the US for that. I know the US has been talking a lot about it. I guarantee you it's not because senators are sad that kids are being are losing money, or they don't give. I don't think senators even give a shit about the kids. Specifically, one of the things here that was listed was one of the senators said something about kids racking up parents' credit cards, which is why I think the only reason why they even think about this is because they are starting to see their bills and they're like, "What is this fucking Fortnite shit? Why is it costing me $40 a month?"
No, I just want to say I agree with Sly. I think that they should implement something like more time based than actual, like, there could be the option for like buying things. Like you can buy the loot boxes if you really wanted to, but having the option to like be able to earn it through like playing the game and like going through specific levels or doing whatever. There's a multitude of different games that use this like specific system where it's either you spend a lot of time in the game or you just pay to win, which is literally the entire purpose. So having that option to like get in-game currency to be able to get the same things, it might just take you longer, and that means that you're still having people playing your freaking game for longer periods of time, which means that you can add more ads if you really wanted to, because some people just get those free ads and stuff like that. Like there's so many different things that they can do. But yes, I imagine it is a bunch of politicians that are seeing like tens of thousands of dollars worth of Fortnite shit on their credit cards, and they're now tired of it. Also, it's another way for them to regulate video games.
Of course. Yeah, anything
which they would love to do.
Yeah, anything to get the government involved. I will say my least favorite thing that people have ever done for skins is sell cell phones, where you had to pay $1,000 to get a Fortnite skin. Fuck that. Fuck that.
We have that skin.
We do have that skin because we had access to cell phones at the time.
Yeah, we could just go up to the cell phones and just log into them. But anyway, on that note, let's move on to our next article here. Our next article comes from GameSpot's Matt Elfring.
Yeah.
Disney Plus.
Friend of the show, I want to say. He's a friend of mine.
Friend of the show.
Yeah.
Okay. Disney Plus hits 116 million subscribers. So, guys, our glorious rulers over at Disney have hit 116 million subscribers on their Disney Plus platform. I know some of us here are going through the whole Marvel saga through the platform. Are we excited to see what the platform has become?
I didn't need to be called out like this.
I picked this specifically just because I'll be real with you. I picked this specifically just because, one, it's a slow news week. Two, I know one of us is definitely going through all this stuff through Disney Plus, right? Because me and Mario went through it in the theaters.
Yeah.
So you're going through it all on Disney Plus, and then I know me and Mario also remember how many times Disney has tried this type of platform. I think this is, if I remember correctly, this is their fourth attempt at their own kind of closed platform that you had to pay for every month. Mario might remember this a little bit better because there was one on Hulu.
I could be missing one.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, I guess so, right? There was a lot of stuff of Disney stuff on Hulu, which they own, and then
well, they own now.
Yeah, they own now. there's definitely been attempts, but this is the first time it's like, hey, it's everything Disney,
boomed.
Marvel. It's like the Marvel's become its own conglomerate thing. Same thing as Pixar now, and of course, even National Geographic. And Canada apparently gets Star, which I'm very jealous of because it's all
we do.
it's all of the Fox network movies and TV shows. So I'm so jealous. I would love to watch Die Hard on Disney Plus.
Good Christmas movie.
Yeah, great Christmas movie.
Yeah, I see it literally right here on my screen.
I'm so jealous.
Jealous.
Yeah.
I think this platform has definitely benefited by all of the recent mouse acquisitions with having all the Star Wars, all the Marvel, all of the the Disney Channel original movie stuff.
Yes.
Because before, I
Yes.
remember about 2 years ago.
They still don't have another Cinderella story, which is literally my favorite movie, and they don't have it on Disney Plus, and I'm still mad about
Which is
it.
it?
There's like
I'm
6
mad
Cinderella
about it.
movies on the platform.
It's the dancing one with Selena Gomez.
Oh well.
I'm sorry. There's too many of them at this point.
It's so good.
Yeah, because I remember 2 years ago, Disney had their shit everywhere, right? They had like Marvel with Netflix. They had some Marvel stuff in Hulu. They had Marvel stuff in ABC. And I want to say there's another network that they had as well, like just showing Marvel stuff as well. I don't remember the network.
Freeform?
I'm pretty sure it was those three. Oh, Freeform, right?
Yeah, Freeform.
Yeah.
So
So they had shit
'cause,
everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Agent Carter was ABC, and
Inhumans.
then the Netflix shows, and then the Hulu shows, and then the Freeform shows.
Yes.
Yeah. So they were
So they
piecing
had
their
shit
shit out
everywhere.
everywhere. And that meant like if you wanted to watch these different shows, you had to either download Hulu and download that, download this, download like you had to go through a lot of hoops to watch a lot of these shows, which is why a lot of them I feel like were kind of canned really early because who the fuck wants to download an ABC app to watch Inhumans or something like that? You know what I mean? But yeah, it's crazy how they've kind of took everything. They said, okay, all our contracts are up, scoop everything up. Hell, even Star Wars, I think, was in some random place at the time.
They were on Netflix.
Yeah, they were on
Yeah,
Netflix.
they were on
So they
Netflix.
scooped them all up, put them on a platform. And I remember they did this one time. They tried this one before. And I think they didn't have anything Marvel. They didn't have anything mature on it, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly. It was all kid stuff. Anything under PG-13 was on there. I think even Star Wars was on there.
It was the Disney.
You remember
it was
this?
just Disney. It was just Disney. Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't called Disney Plus. It was just called
there were-
the Disney app.
There were 2. There's Disney for Disney Channel.
Disney Now.
Yeah, which was like all the Disney Channel stuff, and then there was the kids Disney version of like all the kids
Yeah,
shows.
that's why I said that I think there's like 4 iterations of this app before it finally became
Roly-poly-oly.
Disney Plus. Yeah. And then, now we got Disney Plus, and I think the platform is really good. Albeit a little shady in its business practices with how it's paying their actors and actresses,
Yeah, you think?
which we'll talk about in a
little
minute.
Yeah.
It's
But,
not like they have a lawsuit going on, or
Yeah, they have, or multiple ones, maybe with Emma
Multiple.
Stone. But at least I know the in an earnings call, Bob Chapek, I don't know how to say his name, Chapek, in an earnings call said that the movies will be premiered on the platform on a case-by-case basis, which we'll get to in a little bit as well. But yeah, I mean, what do we think about Disney Plus? I mean, in general, like, do we like this platform?
Personally, I adore what they've done with Disney Plus, especially with the documentary side of everything. I am a huge closeted Disney fan all the way because I remember when I was a child,
why closeted?
only because I'm not talking about Sword in the
He
Stone,
doesn't talk about it often.
like Black Cauldron, and I don't talk about like, Fox and the Hound. Like I don't talk about those films as often as I do, or even like Zorro, The Mask of Zorro on the original channel. Like I used to watch all the time. The Disney Channel, Mickey Mouse Club, like so weird. Like I don't talk about them as often as I want to. Like the Jersey is probably one of my favorite things, and I think it's on Disney Plus now. Finally, I'm not sure, but I have a huge history with Disney. I just don't talk about it as often. So when it comes to like the parks and stuff like that, I'm fascinated about the history of Walt Disney, even if there's some not so great aspects as well. But there is so much love and care that goes on in those parks that I fall into the magic. So getting to watch the first documentary, which was the Imaginarium, which was breaking down the different parks as they were being developed, and watching like me just dreaming about going to like Tokyo Disney or to Disney Sea or, you know, a Disney Paris. The ideas of how they were built and how they were designed and the people behind it and their connections to like Star Wars and the Jungle Cruise and like all this type of stuff. Like I live for that shit. And Disney has been a platform for me in that aspect. It also has Marvel and Star Wars, which is really huge because this is the first major platform that Star Wars 4, 5, and 6 has ever been on. 1, 2, and 3 have sporadically appeared on things, but 4, 5, and 6 being a home for it, this is the first time I think of they've ever been. And to have it all centralized in the way that they do between the 4 brands, I think is fantastic. And yeah, I do love it. I do agree with you. Shady practices. Not everything's also on there, and not to mention the fact that this thing with Scarlett Johansson getting screwed over, and Emma Stone in some aspects without them even negotiating contract changes. Think of the reason why they're not doing Shang-Chi, which I know we have it at one of our articles with a quickie review, but it's important here too. How they're not going to have it on the Disney Plus platform because they don't want another lawsuit. Like they're going to go with but screwing them over because it's in the pandemic.
We could talk about that first thing too, since it is relevant here. That Shang-Chi will only debut in theaters despite COVID surges. This comes from IGN's Rebecca Valentine. Yeah. But go ahead, continue.
I think it's important to note that the problem with these contracts is that the actor contracts are only through Marvel. Like they're only in negotiations with Marvel, and Disney's not a part of that conversation. Mm-hmm. So when Disney got involved with that and violated the contract, it got complicated because the contract was negotiated with Marvel, and then Disney's organizing distribution, but violating the already agreed terms with Marvel. So it's way too much legal mumbo jumbo. It goes over my head, but like definitely that's very interesting to see how that's gonna play out.
Yeah. But good for Disney. They were at 57 million at the end of 2020. They're up a shitload, and that could probably be attributed to them rolling the platform out to Asian countries. There's a lot of people there, a lot of subscribers. But on that note, I'm glad for you, Disney. Good for you. Pay your fucking actors, you idiots. On our next topic here, I'm actually going to hand it over to Fee, because Fee remembered this. I saw this a few days ago, but I completely forgot about it. And for some reason, nobody else is talking about it. But go ahead, Fee, because this is actually pretty big.
This is not just big. This is actually a massive move. This week...
It's a big D move.
It's a fucking... It's absolutely obscene. Funimation of
Big Titan, Attack on Titan.
No, not.
Do they have
not
penises?
Kind of...
Okay, continue.
No, they don't.
No,
but continue.
Funimation officially acquires anime streaming service Crunchyroll for $1.175 billion.
I thought it was thought it was 1.177 Bitcoin.
So this is absolutely insane. This article comes from, oh my god.
I was like, damn, bro.
Business deals were big done in Bitcoin now.
The fucking Sony exec just pulls up with 1 Bitcoin, just puts that shit on the table, just like, give me that Crunchyroll, bitch.
All right. That's how business is done.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Anyway, if you continue.
No shows at the docks. You know, you get your cut, I get my cut, you get 40, I get 60. Okay, Leo?
Oh my god. This comes from DM Moore over at Polygon. On Wednesday, Sony Pictures Entertainment Incorporated announced that AT&T and Warner Media agreed to sell Crunchyroll to Funimation. Through though there had been rumblings of the acquisition for a few weeks, it wasn't clear just how the deal would go down or if it would at all. The purchase price of the transaction was estimated by Sony to be $1.175 billion.
I think that sounds so shady. Like we had no idea the deal was going down at all.
Bitcoin.
No.
It's definitely not. Oh my god.
What's the price of
Yeah.
Bitcoin right now?
Oh my god.
$1.75 billion.
No, but the reason I say this is a very big dick move is because Sony could do so much with this acquisition.
Yeah.
I'm sure Fee has tons of ideas how this could go down.
This is absolutely like
PlayStation
honestly, like when it comes to anime, this is like the biggest, like this is the
Biggest
dick
dickus.
move. This is
The
the
big-
big dick energy anime move that they could specifically do in this. Like honestly, like you're taking two of the massive like, and I'm not trying to do any like wordplay, but these are like two massive titans when it comes to bringing anime to the West. And you're combining the two together and having this, and this is actually, I wish I remember the person who mentioned this on TikTok, was the fact that like them coming together isn't just about like bringing anime over, which is great. It's also to combat things like pirating and stuff like that. So everyone has like one specific place to go to. There has been like a number of people in the past where what would happen is they would either have fun as Frank has witnessed me when we've watched anime as we go between Crunchyroll and Funimation, depending on what the show is, depending on which one had the licensing, which one had the agreements and stuff like that. And so bringing them all together is actually really great. And this also allows things like extra dubs, more stream casting and stuff like that, which allows a lot more people to be able to access anime, depending. But when it comes to more information from the CRO of Warner Media, Tony Kelvs, I apologize, sir. The Crunchyroll team has done an extraordinary job of not only growing Crunchyroll brand, but also building a passionate community of anime fans. Crunchyroll's success is a direct result of the company's culture and commitment to their fans. Crunchyroll started as a bunch of people who were just fans of anime and then just bringing it up and creating this massive streaming service. And so having this ability to combine the two is actually really exciting, and I'm very excited to see what they do moving forward. Because having a one-stop shop, yes, there's things like Netflix that currently has Beastars. Yeah, enjoy that one. Beastars. Woo!
Ooh, Beastars.
Beastars.
Are we talking about Sexy Beast, that dating show of people dressed up like animals?
No, we are talking about essentially a adult version of Zootopia.
Oh boy. Oh no.
Most anime Zootopia.
Rule 34. Fucking Zootopia.
I mean, it's about a wolf man and a bunny girl. So
fair enough. There you go.
Anyway, this is absolutely obscene, and this was actually, some people had rumblings of this because we've seen certain like shows actually go over to Sony, such as Fade, which is a series that they had a 30-day exclusivity, and so this just makes me very happy because this might actually, like, I wouldn't even mind spending in like an extra $5 a month on Funimation if that meant that I get everything from Crunchyroll as well.
Yeah.
So
that's what I thought on the business end of this. Whereas I think this could be added to PlayStation Plus. It could be maybe even like a little like $5 extra. You get Crunchyroll added to your PlayStation Plus subscription. The main thing I was thinking of, and if we remember correctly, because it was on the podcast a while back, Sony was buying up starting a partnership with an animation studio as well.
yeah.
Sony seems to be doing a lot of cool things within the anime sphere. They're definitely doubling down, obviously, on anime as a company. Mainly probably just to get all like the revenue they can possibly get from any media. Of course, Sony has music, Sony has games, Sony has now has a lot of anime. I could definitely see a lot of more anime focused games coming out on PlayStation because of this. Because if your anime is on a platform owned by Sony, there's a very good chance that Sony's also going to offer you a deal to have your game or something like that exclusively on their platform as well, with PlayStation or something like that. So I think we'll be seeing a lot more localized games, especially with anime things on them, because if you're buying a company like Crunchyroll for $1 billion, you as a company have to realize how important anime is in the US or any of these countries here that isn't Japan. Because before it could be argued that it wasn't as popular, but $1 billion is a lot of money. So Sony must know that the US and Canada, the UK must be looking at anime, because who's going to pay $1 billion for a company nobody's gonna watch, right?
Well, Sony's been kind of sitting pretty with anime in some regard, because they had the streaming the actual studio Animaplix, who, if you aren't aware of that specific studio, they're the people who made Sword Art Online. So they are already sitting quite pretty when it comes to the anime scene. So having the ability, like, just adding more to them, because right now, to kind of give some context, they gosh, what are the shows that because Crunchyroll has so many right now. I know that they have Dr. Stone, they have Jujutsu Kaisen,
Promised Neverland, Food Wars, God, High School, ReZero, Berserk, Full Metal Alchemist, Hunter x Hunter.
Well, a number of
I'm staring at it. I'm staring at it because the reason why I want to talk about it.
Have you ever seen an anime called CD, Mario?
No, I have not. But the reason why I'm actually sad about this is because they've added this actually to HBO Max, and it probably is going to be leaving now.
Oh yeah, it was weird that Jujutsu Kaisen was even on HBO Max.
They have a section called Crunchyroll, so that's why
I didn't see it called Crunchyroll. I just called it anime.
I'm looking at it right now, and it's it sucks.
Well, for me, it benefits me.
No,
as
of course.
Who pays for
my thing, and hopefully, this is the reason why I was paranoid about it, was because hopefully, if it does become a part of like a PlayStation Plus, then I'm okay. It's the fact that I would have to buy yet another service. I was hoping that it would be conglomerated into something like a HBO Max, like kind of how I have it now, where I could check it out if I wanted to. That's what I was afraid of.
Yeah,
that's fair. It's just a matter it depends on what rights they have and what specific things they'll do moving forward. If Sony decides to pull out, then that would be on Sony. I don't know what Sony and HBO their partnership is like. But it definitely opens a lot of doors for Crunchyroll, which hopefully that means that they put a lot more focus on it, and that because it's definitely not a small genre right now. It's actually becoming way more massive than it originally was, especially over the pandemic. We see more and more people watching anime now than ever before, and especially with things like TikTok, where they've been showing things of people. There's a whole anime side of TikTok, guys, and a lot of the bigger TikTokers are just I watch anime. Or you see a bunch of Hollywood actors. Good example, Michael B. Jordan. When he talks about anime in interviews when he can. So we're seeing a lot more. When I was in high school, you don't fucking talk about anime.
Oh yeah. You're bullied for that shit.
You're a big nerd if you. But now
fucking nerd.
Oh, did you see Jujutsu Kaisen last week? That's absolutely still to this day still very confusing to me that it's so socially accepted, which I'm very happy it is. Don't get me wrong.
Did you watch the new episode of The Testament of the Sister New Devil? I did.
I know you didn't.
No, if I was in school. If I was in school, I'd be
because I've seen that. I've seen that show. I've seen that. So you somehow picked the most perverted one out of all of them.
No, I picked the one with the longest title.
You literally picked the longest title. You literally picked the one. I'm pretty sure that's the one I'm thinking of, where the guy just gets powers by groping people.
High school father suddenly remarried. What doesn't tell me, but it looks sexy. Anyways,
this is the one.
Yeah, I'm gonna get that off the screen. So,
if Mario wasn't hosting the show, I would boot him out of the channel.
Oh my god, no!
I mean, it's consensual groping. They love it.
I didn't say I watched it. It was a joke. It was a bit. It was a bit. Anyways, congratulations, anime! You win.
Finally, we gotta win.
Anime's always been winning.
I mean, yeah, but now we're even more winning, so.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, at least in the past couple of years, anime's just been taking a straight dub for years. It just keeps growing.
Yeah.
Well, even
a minor stumble for that Death Note movie, but other than that, we're good.
Well, we don't talk about that, because that was Netflix. That was
anime. That's US bullshit.
No, we saw things this year, dub. they had the very first, like,
I mean-
one of the biggest, like, specific animes that people know about is Fruit Basket when it comes to, like, any sort of, like, dojin or, like, not dojin, my god, specifically, like, oh, that's a whole
No,
other thing.
That's
No,
Moving on.
we're not talking about that. No, when we, like, specifically when it comes to, like, when you think of, like, romance anime, one of the very first ones that you think of is Fruits Basket, and this, like, the first episode of the last season was dubbed first and was released in dubbed, and then it was in sub, which I'm not here to have an argument about sub versus dub, because quite honestly, if I don't have my glasses on, I'm going to watch an anime in dub, guys. I'm sorry. I'm blind as a bat. I can't read subtitles when I have my glasses off. But, like, they're doing a lot better now, so seeing Victoria the Explorer is the best anime. Oh my god, Nardog. I can't
that's
even see it.
Mexican anime right now.
That's
but
Mexican
on,
anime.
No,
we're
on that
gonna
note,
on that note, we're gonna move through the tidbits really quick.
Yeah.
Grand Theft Auto Remastered Trilogy leaked.
woo,
For release this year. This comes from Game Rant's Dalton Cooper. If I remember correctly, it's not going to be a carbon copy. It's going to have some new elements in it. A new UI for the games. So instead
Yeah.
of like the same
heard-
boring old UI, it's going to be an overhaul in many ways, but not in the
is it
same way
in the
as like a
Mafia
Dead
sense?
Space remaster.
Like in the Mafia sense, or
I don't think they're going to do it that way. It's going to have new. It's going to
Crash
be the
Bandicoot.
same. It's going to be the same with just new elements added. So we
Weird.
don't know if it's going to. It's going to have some things like probably retextured in Unreal Engine, but I don't think it's going to be a full remake. Like,
But
we're
like,
thinking
but
with,
like,
I don't think that type of remake.
not like
It's just
Crash
gonna be.
Bandicoot or Spyro.
It's just going to be
was the
like
same
quality
game?
of life remakes.
Oh,
yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, like if you remember, Grand Theft Auto 3 has a problem with frames when you're going too high of a frame rate.
Sure.
And it has a if you've played Grand Theft Auto 3 on a PlayStation 2, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That stuff needs to be addressed and fixed for a PC version. Same thing with Grand Theft Auto Vice City. There's a lot of ghosting there and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That needs to be fixed for a new generation. But we'll see when it actually gets announced, because this is all speculation still. It's still a leak, which I don't think it's going to. We'll probably see it soon.
To see. Yeah, I'll be excited to see details when that comes out, because I
Yeah.
know that's a game that's so pervasive throughout video game like culture
Yeah.
that a lot of people missed out on. So I'm excited for it to come back and for people to get to experience it.
Actual
so
classics.
I'm excited to hear the actual release.
My only fear is that the soundtrack will be fucked up with again.
Yes, it will always be fucked up because
Yeah.
of shady ass fucking
Licenses
corporations.
and stuff
But
like-
anyway,
No, licensing really is what it is.
yeah. well, I mean, they're gonna want more money. It's
Yeah.
shady business practices. But anyway, our next article comes from Kotaku's Ian Walker. Idris Elba teases Knuckles' role in Sonic the Movie sequel. I don't give a shit. I'm so fucking sick of seeing the same 5 people. I can give a shit if Idris Elba's in it. I just saw him in Suicide Squad like a week ago, and
Knuckles
then I
D,
saw him.
baby. Let's go.
Like, stop hiring the same 5 people. Hire
Love
new
it.
people. If you watch the Sonic the Hedgehog movie, I guess this is cool for you.
It's a great movie. It's a solid movie.
I'm sure.
I mean, Idris Elba is great though.
Idris Elba's a cool
Listen,
guy. Don't get
it
me
just
wrong.
confirms-
Idris Elba, but I've seen him so often this week. He's in The Wire.
It's because you watched The Wire.
He's
That's
in,
on
he's
you,
in
dude.
Suicide Squad.
That is on you,
And,
dude.
like, I'm so sick of seeing these fucking guys.
That
Same
is
thing
on
with John
you.
Cena. I'm so fucking sick of seeing John Cena.
That's on you.
That's on you,
I'm
dude.
so sick of it. To hire new
so-
people.
That's
I don't think I could
Knuckles is
tell you
black
the
confirmed.
last
That's
time
all
I
that
saw
matters. Shout
John
out to
Cena
Cameron
at
Hawkins.
something.
Yeah.
woo.
I'm happy about that.
Yeah. So if you're a Sonic the Hedgehog fan, I guess this is. So and then our last article is going to be
Knuckles
PC
D.
Gamer's Tyler Wilde, 9 Inch Nails guitarist and Spec Ops: The Line director team up to make a cosmic horror game.
Excellent.
I don't think you
and
guys
studio.
realize how big this is.
Good
And
for
studio.
you.
Because Spec Ops: The Line was probably one of the best written games of all time, especially in like the mental disorder kind of like it was way different from the regular run of the mill shooter. So him and some, I guess the guitarists from 9 Inch Nails are going to make some crazy fucking game.
They're
because
doing a
that
studio
game had-
too, so they're gonna make
yeah,
multiple
that-
of these bad boys.
That game had a lot of metaphysical ideas in it. This game will probably blow your fucking mind in some way, or it will suck if it ever comes out. We never know.
We'll find out.
We won't know until it does come
Great.
out. But I am
Hopefully-
going
We'll
to.
see.
Hopefully, it is better than Abandon, which
Yeah, we can quick talk about that for like 5 minutes. That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life. This studio, by the way, this Blue Box Studio thing, I really do think these guys are just fucking who got some Sony money this time, because there is evidence that they have done this more than once. They have done this many times. They have they have teased a game, got money funded, and just dipped, and then did it again, and then just dipped, and then did it again, and then just. I think they did this 5 times.
Yeah. So screw you, eat a dick, and you wasted my time. We'll never talk about you ever again.
Fuck you, Blue Box Studios.
I don't care.
I can care less.
I don't care.
You dug your own grave when it comes to people harassing you about Silent Hill, because you are constantly fucking teasing the fan base as if this game is Silent Hill and it's not. But on that note, I'm going to hand it over to Sly here for the pitch.
I'm gonna go send it out.
The pitch.
There you go.
I'm sorry. I love the jump, and every time I see it, it reminds me of the jump, and it makes me happy. So you have to put up with it, deal with it.
Go ahead.
Welcome to the pitch. Today, I'm going to talk to you about a little movie that released yesterday called Coda. If you don't know what Coda stands for, it's Child of a Deaf Adult, and so this is a movie that was produced by Apple TV, and it's streaming and in select theaters.
Yeah.
Across the US this week. And everybody needs to see this movie. I don't care what kind of movies you like. I don't care. If you consider me as a person who is in your life, you're listening to this podcast, you're on this podcast, which means I am a part of your life. You need to watch this movie. So basically, it's the story of a deaf family where the parents are deaf, the older brother is deaf, and the younger daughter is hearing. She's a coda. And it's about their story of, like, her growing up being the interpreter for the family, et cetera, and just seeing them grow as a family. And it's, a great story, a great representation. It's the, only time I've ever really seen a majority deaf cast in a major movie, ever. And so that's incredible. That's such a great achievement. And I think that's really great. I will say the movie is not perfect by any means. And it's really important to me as a person to celebrate inclusion and representation, but also be critical of it, because just because we're included or represented doesn't mean it's perfect and doesn't mean there's room to grow. In the year of our Lord 2021, being included is the bare minimum, and we can do better than that, right? We don't want bare minimum here. So I have 3 critiques of the movie in general that I want to give hearing people before they watch this movie. Before you go in, no spoilers. 3 things I want to point out that you should be looking for when you're watching this movie.
Okay.
One of the themes in the movie that's kind of implied is this idea of deaf incompetence, of needing to rely on a hearing person to interact with the world, which is totally the fault of the story. I know the deaf actors probably made this movie the best they could, but those themes are just so common within just hearing culture that, the story's written by a hearing person, so it appears. And I'm not going to say that's a good or a bad thing, but it's something to think about and to recognize when you're watching this movie, is that seeing those themes and how the deaf characters are represented, it's important to interrogate that and come to your own conclusion. Another note is the actor for Ruby, the character who's a coda, is not played by a coda, which is a choice. I get that they probably casted her based on her voice, but it's really disappointing to see a character in a role who's supposed to be, very ingrained in deaf culture and signing ASL as their first language, but the actor is obviously had no exposure to ASL before being in this role. And so you'll notice that her signing's kind of awkward. Like, none of it's wrong. She obviously worked with the ASL masters a lot on this film. But it's just awkward. It's not fluid, which if you grew up with all deaf family, you would be a good signer. Like, so that was something that broke the suspension of disbelief a little bit for me. And it's really disappointing that we didn't get to see a coda in that role, or even somebody who had previous ASL experience. And my final critique of this movie is it perpetuates this idea that deaf people don't enjoy music, which is so absurd that it's comical to me, because there are so many talented deaf musicians. Like, I've played music all my life. Like, you have wonderful musicians like Sean Forbes and Wawa who are making great music. Like, deaf people like music. And so it just cracks me up that, like, this is still a common thought and common belief. And you see that in the movie, that there's some of this idea that, like, deaf people don't enjoy music, which I'm sure there's plenty of deaf people who totally identify with how the relationship to music is portrayed, but most of the deaf people I know, and myself included, we love music. So that's a little bit of something to think about. But this movie is great. Daniel Durant is one of my favorite actors. He's in this. He's phenomenal. I love him. He's so expressive. His phrasing is just gorgeous, incredible. And one of the coolest things that blows my mind is they were able to secure the fact that every single showing of this movie in a theater is being played with open captions, which means that the captions are just imprinted on the screen. And this is such a huge accomplishment. This is such a win for the deaf community, because, I mean, I like going to the movies, but it's kind of a pain in the ass. You have, like, either caption boxes that are super awkward, and they, like, fit in, they take up your
I want to talk to you about that.
Holder.
I used to work at the movie theater, and we would have to give those devices out, and it seemed not ideal, especially since it goes into the cup holder, right?
And there's some where you can use it as a cup holder, but it's a pain, and they don't always work. Sometimes the captions aren't turned on for the theater you're in, and so then the movie starts, and you're, like, a couple minutes into the movie, and the captions haven't started, and then you have to leave and talk to people to get them turned on, and it's just such a pain. So the fact that the actors were able to use their platform, use their exposure in this film to advocate for every single screening to be open captioned is incredible. It's exactly what I wish happened with A Quiet Place 1, because I know a lot of folks went into that movie thinking the entire movie is signing, we don't need captioning devices, and then there's that one scene in the waterfall where it's all talking, no signing, and so many people were left out because it was advertised as, you know, having ASL throughout the whole movie.
Yeah.
And so I was really excited to see this. Such a huge win. The fact that more theaters are doing open captions is just so incredible.
No,
that's my spiel.
No, that's good, because I mean, there's definitely things given for people who with other languages as well. that device uses for. And then there are certain times where movies that are from other countries, like India is huge in the movie theaters industry, where they'll have the captions on the screen for some of the movies that I've seen when I used to work at the movie theater. And yeah, I also have been the one that's given people those devices in the movie theater, and they're just really not ideal. So for them to be projected actually on the screen is really great. And I do agree with you when it comes to A Quiet Place, where everything is pretty much signed, and then there's that one scene where it's just them talking, and then
one scene, and that was so
it's like,
frustrating.
and it's an important scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I want everybody to watch this movie, and it's a coming of age family story, and that's not everybody's jam, but I think it's really important to bettering ourselves as humans and learning other perspectives and seeing stories from cultures outside our own. So I want all of my friends who aren't involved in my culture to see this movie and learn a little bit more about it. And it's a good movie too, so like that's a bonus.
Yeah.
So I have actually been getting emails about this movie for a couple weeks now that are about actually free screenings. And the only reason why I didn't go was because I thought that the actual they didn't give you much information because it's a private thing. You're not supposed to know about the movie. It was like a secret screening or whatever it was, but they just show an image of a family, and that's it. To me, it was just plain Jane, just super and then when you look at the film, I mean, there's definitely characters that are definitely that dynamic that I watched in the trailer. I showed the trailer off while you were speaking, and I just wish that that I even had this piece of information in the first place, and I would, because I had no idea what the film was about, the fact of the title, and I wish that the marketing, at least that I've seen, was a little bit more expressive for that. Luckily now, having you speak that to me, and then I watched the trailer, I have more context, so now I understand more. I definitely hope that this is an opportunity for people to take a look and see this. It is on the Apple TV service. I saw it today when I was watching Ted Lasso. So for everyone, if you have an iPhone and you haven't tracked in on your free subscription, it is there available to you. Or if you're looking to upgrade this summer or upgrade, in October, you'll get another chance and you'll be able to watch this film too, because you'll get a free subscription. So definitely use those. If not, it's $10.
Yeah,
and you get Ted Lasso.
If you have the chance to see a screening, I know it's in select cities, so it's a pretty limited screening. If you have the chance, I don't. There's no one near me, but definitely if you have the chance to see it in theaters, I would definitely recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
But if not, it's on Apple TV Plus, so
yeah,
anybody can nab that free trial. Steal Apple's money. They certainly have plenty of it.
Yes. And then after watch Ted Lasso. It's a fantastic show.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
So thank you for that. That was the pitch.
That was the TED Talk.
Yes, this is your TED Talk.
That was my TED Talk. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
It definitely looks like a movie that I'd be interested in watching. Hopefully it comes to other streaming platforms. I did go to Cineplex. I went to the Cineplex website, which is the place that we watch movies. I don't know what it's called there. I know you guys have Alamo and stuff like that, but yeah, it's not available anywhere in Atlantic Canada, which is incredibly unfortunate. So hopefully, because quite honestly, it looks like a frickin' town in Nova Scotia, because it's a fucking fishing family, which shocker, that's a lot of what Nova Scotia is. So I am pretty shocked that we don't have it. I know that we're a small province, but come on, I'm surprised that we didn't just jump ship and specifically say we need to specifically have this. Because they even have things like a fishery board I saw in the trailer, which is something that our province is very familiar with, even though sometimes they make really bad calls and they're really dumb. And I have no more comments on that one, especially with what happened last year. But no, I'll definitely check it out when I do have access to it. I am one of the few of this podcast who does not have access to an Apple device. Shocking.
I also don't.
Oh yeah, you don't have a fucking Apple device. So yeah, I'll see if I can definitely, let's see. I'll figure it out. I'll figure out Apple TV.
Is Apple TV not available in Canada?
That's a great
the Canada.
The
Not
Canada.
just Canada, the Canada.
That's a very good question.
'Cause if
I can
so,
start a free trial. Let's see. I'm good. You know what, guys? While we're on the podcast, I'm gonna see if I can set up for a free trial.
fantastic.
We'll continue doing
Um,
what we're doing.
Okay.
I'm gonna figure out if I can do this though.
Yeah, can't wait for the Canada sequel, the Canada.
The Canada.
The Canada.
Canada.
Oh, can't. I have to make a
Canada
Canada
2.
too.
Yeah.
Canada 2. The
Buddy.
Canada.
Me and Sly got the same jokes. And on that,
Canada 2.
Thank
Electric Boogaloo.
thank you, Sly, for recommending Coda. I'll definitely give it a shot. I have been watching a lot of Apple TV lately, and I have now that I have more context, I'll definitely check out the film. Moving on
Fucker.
to the okay, all right,
My cat just like scratched my leg as she's like laying on my leg.
Oh my god.
fucker.
I just love the out of context exclamation.
Oh, fucker. She's right here. She's just scratching at my leg. I don't know why. She's right here.
All right, moving on and
Cool.
going into the
We need a
end.
cat cam.
We need a cat cam for sure. Moving on into the last portion of the episode. Talk about listener questions here. I actually did see some in the chat, so I do want to point them out. But do we have any main ones that we need to get through?
Let's get through the list.
I got one from Kate.
Yeah, we got one. From
That's the
Kate.
one. Yeah, that's the one I love. So I'm excited
Okay,
for that
we
one.
can go over that
I
one.
do both of these.
Yes. Okay. Do you want to do Fee first, or do you want to do Kate first?
Let's do Kate first. I would like to do.
Okay. So Kate Rose, who was in the chat earlier, Kate Rose 92. If y'all were professional wrestlers, what would your names be?
Mexican sausage.
I will also caveat this question and add, what is your special move? What is your finisher?
The queso fundido. Where a rapper.
Oh my God, he's got him off the top ropes with the queso vendito. It works. It works.
Yeah, exactly. The Mexican sausage strikes again.
Oh, you don't want to mess with his chorizo punches. Oh, well,
All my moves are just chorizo dishes.
Fiona, you had a finger up.
No, I'm just getting mad at Apple because they don't apparently want my money.
Oh,
I got a
boo.
I got a very weird error. If someone can help me, I'm getting MZDSEception. Oh no, sorry.
Actually, no. I'm
Exception
actually an Apple developer. I can tell you this.
Okay.
In the notes here for that info code, it just says
Yeah.
"fuck Canada."
Oh, thank you. I'm really appreciate it. It says the request cannot be processed at this time.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it just in my notes here for that
No,
error
no,
code,
no.
it just says "fuck Canada." I don't know.
Fuck Canada.
I'm very offended. Okay, I clicked on it again.
B, do you want my login?
Yeah, I would like your login because you know what? This is BS, Apple. I tried to give you my money.
I could maybe add you as my family to my account.
Sure, that'd be great.
There
I'm
you
just
go.
very upset with Apple. Like, why do you hate us? Okay, you know what? Maybe I should have googled this first.
Stars, you know.
Is
Maybe-
Apple Plus in
Is
Canada?
Canada? Is Apple Plus? Does Apple Plus hate Canada?
Is Fiona's special move the Apple
Google
Plus Smasher?
Oh my god! First of all, what the fuck? Secondly,
I wanna- while Fee's figuring this out, my second wrestling name will be the Weeb, and all of my moves are just anime finishers. But I want to be like, if I'm gonna be the Weeb, I have to be like the fucking epitome of Weeb, like straight up, like super overweight, neck beard, fucking doesn't shower.
God. Can you please be dressed up as Yuffie?
Dressed up as an anime character that I have no right to be dressed up as. It'll be great.
You'll be the new Yokozuna of wrestling. It'll be fantastic.
I'll like shitty anime gear, like that shit you see on Amazon for like $20.
Oh my God, the headband and everything. Yes. Yes.
The headband, run out like Naruto.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Can you not do that?
I love it. All right, cool. Shout out
My
to
catchphrase would be like,
needs to pick all of our professional wrestler names.
my catchphrase for that will be, "I have the power of God and anime on my side," as I twirl a katana around.
I love that you're a Jesus freak that loves anime.
Oh yeah, no. The character has to be Christian in some way. That's the best part.
Oh my God. Sly, save us. What is your wrestler name?
I'm not gonna save it at all. I feel like I would be the kind of person who, if I was a professional wrestler, I would make my name some version of like a slur to make everybody uncomfortable.
Oh fuck.
I feel like that's the vibe I'm going for.
Oh my god, you do very well at ECW.
So, like some iteration of like content warning for the F slur.
Oh man.
Some iteration of like the word faggot within the name
Jesus.
to make everybody uncomfortable, because that's the vibe I'm going for.
I'm
Well, that's one way to have nobody. I guess you win because nobody would fight you.
It would be a hate crime.
I don't even think
Oh my
anybody
God.
would even.
So Sly, there was in the early 2000s, right when it was right after the Attitude Era, where everyone was like super naughty and super bad. There was actually a PC group where everyone was wearing just black slacks, white shirts, and they were all uptight, and they were literally like they were just straight PC, like the Godfather who had a hoe train, right? He had
I love that.
He had a hoe train. They reformed him. He became the good father, and he was no more about the hoes. Like it was so good, so good.
Incredible.
Yes, wrestling it could be anything you want it to be, and that's why I love it. Fiona, what is your wrestling name?
And it better not be the weeb, because I swear to God, I've already taken it. I've already copyrighted it.
I've
already emailed Vince McMahon.
I picture Fiona coming out dressed up as like an otter. Just
Oh my god, I would love that.
just a tail,
Otter whisperer.
just
Be
a
honest,
tail.
guys. I don't know if you understand how freaking like. Yes, otters are adorable. But
Otters are
they will
vicious.
fuck your shit up.
That's
They
what
will
that's what I'm
and
saying.
take every other descendant, like anyone in your like future family, now deceased.
Yeah.
They have
They'll
been
make sure they
erased
cut off
from-
that fucking bloodline.
Yeah, they will take out your bloodline and they will look for vengeance. They
Yeah.
specifically, like, okay, to kind of give you a heads up, some cute things that otters do when they're.
This
going
is not
to
about
sleep-
wrestling, all right?
No, just wait. No, just wait. Wait.
Okay.
When there is like some otters, what they'll do is they'll do really cute things, like wrap themselves up in kelp so they don't float away. Do you know what some otters do? They fuck that shit up. They rip the actual kelp away, so these otters just float out to the middle of like just get to float off. These little children are just floating. These little babies are just going like bye, like floating away because their parents decided to go hunting, and this guy wanted to become a dick. So-
Fucking Ruth.
Like, why did the guy want to become a detective?
Oh my god, no. No. If I had
I could see Fee
God, we
being
gotta
an
end the
otter or something like that.
This
Or
was a
I would
tight
say-
Wendy
what do you-
turned into a
what do
straight
you-
2-hour podcast.
No, okay, here's the thing. It would be something regarding, like, obviously I'm from Canada, the Great White North. Something probably associated with that. Because obviously we would need...
Fucking nerd.
I don't know. I'd probably, like, they would probably, like, slap on, like, the ice Amazon on my forehead and be like, you're 6'2",
Ice
go and have
Amazon.
fun. And, like,
You
like,
would-
the
Yes.
Frost Amazonian and throw me onto
Out
the
of-
stage with, like...
Out of
Is this
all,
like is this an Ice Planet Barbarians reference?
out of all of us, you are Vince McMahon's favorite because you are the tallest, and you would absolutely be the frozen barbarian.
It would be like the
frozen Amazon.
it would be the frozen Amazonian, and I would just be like, "What?" And then I just picture that. It's just like, "Hey, I have a really good idea," and they'd be like, "Here's the deal. You're really tall. You're from Canada. We're just gonna give you an entire arc where you've come from the Great White North, and you're here to like take out everybody, and that's your nickname." And then they just throw me out.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Love that.
Frank, I'm going to sell you this on this idea, okay?
Oh my god.
Everyone
Right.
loves a good secret brother story, okay?
Oh no.
And so we have classics like Gold Dust and Stardust. All right, we have The Undertaker and Kane. This is what I'm selling you, okay? The weeb needs a secret brother. All right.
Oh, is it? What are you going to be, the Chad?
So
Jesus.
hold on. I show up one day. All right, I come out of the crowd. I throw at you an apple. Okay,
Oh God.
I throw at you.
Dude, you already
a
fucked up
banana.
because
Are you
and
the Sir Isaac
Hold on.
Newton?
I
Like,
throw-
was about to say-
hold on. Let me finish. I throw a banana at you. Okay.
All right, you're already
I
fucked up because
throw-
weebs are malnourished.
Hold
This
on,
is already.
hold
they don't
on,
eat fruit.
Hold on. I come in. I have a basket.
Oh my god.
I am
Is
in
it fruit
fact.
basket?
I am in fact your brother, Fruit Basket. I'm your effeminate buddy, brother, who's come in to take you on and take you down. My name is Fruit Basket.
Fruit basket isn't about
You
fruit.
also hate Jesus. You have to hate Jesus too.
I'm the opposite of you. I hate Jesus. Jesus.
You're
Like,
atheist.
this is why I come back. I've come back to take back the family name. My name is Fruit Basket.
The first thing you do is put a fucking fruit basket on your head and say God isn't real.
And then we got to fight for supremacy and make sure, in a fruit basket match where we fight in a basket full of fruits.
I just
Wrestling
ima-
is
this
anything
basically
you want it to be.
This is basically the all women are queens fight. You don't realize that, right?
Now, okay, by the way, I've now come up with a segment for 1 week where it's just going to be me listing off anime names and you guys have to tell me what the plot is because you thinking that
Absolutely.
when you think okay,
What do you think fruit baskets? I adore what you think fruit baskets is.
I'm a little bit of a romantic. I don't know what you're talking about.
okay, because Fruit Basket is about the 12 zodiac, not anything about fruit.
All right, then. As an anti-religion character.
Okay, anyway, great.
So you are you could play the Chad who
There we go.
obviously doesn't understand anime but tries to
Sure.
belittle their brother.
Yeah, I'm laughing so hard the back of my head hurts. So let's move on to the second
Okay,
question.
okay, this was a question.
Shout out to Kate. This was the exact kind of chaos energy that I wanted out of this question. So, Kate, we love you. Thank you so much.
Ow. Oh boy.
All right, Fee, take it away.
I'm in pain.
I just need a second, guys.
My head hurts.
Okay.
I'm in absolute pain right now.
Take an Excedrin, dude.
I gotta take one because that was definitely not a tight 90.
I just thought
I have some.
Hey.
no, because I just thought of a wrestling thing that Frank should have done, and it's
The
specifically
weeb and the virgin and the Chad.
Oh my god.
it was specifically like it's inspired by your GTA 5 freaking what is it? Your car that has just like all the inappropriate anime ladies on it. Like,
Yes.
and then just be called this is your okay if this is what Frank would be it would be called like the Hentarian and it would be a guy just dressed up with a bunch of hentai covers.
I would wear.
It would
There's
be
that.
music.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
then, no, just wait. So it'd be like like his music when he comes in, it would sound normal, but then it would be like weird moaning in the background. Like,
Oh my
you
God.
Oh
know,
yeah.
Oh my God,
No,
you come
it
out-
would be. I
Shawn
already
Michaels?
know the perfect fucking song. I already know the perfect fucking song. You already heard
Fuck.
the weird anime VA dub songs, Fee. You already know there's tons of fucking intros that you can definitely do.
Oh my god.
Now I have to draw. I'm now gonna have to draw this particular person and then put it as our thumbnail for this week, which is making me very upset.
Yeah, but he has to have like the hentai headband.
Oh my god.
You know what I'm talking about? Or the faku.
Oh,
Freaking faku headband.
I quit.
I'm just saying. No, it's also like they have like those hoodies online, especially on Amazon, where they
Oh,
just have
he
like.
totally
Jesus.
wears the Ahega hoodie.
Jesus
Exactly.
Christ.
Okay, so we've now created.
I quit. Goodbye.
Well, we're just about to get into a good specific question. Okay.
The intro is just the Pornhub sound.
Oh my god. Anyway, so. Okay, no. The next question, I actually was like, this is a question that I want to ask you guys because I was actually inspired by watching Hot Ones today. Great show, highly recommend it. And they had Elijah Wood, and one of the questions specifically that Sean asked was, what video game would you like to create a movie adaptation? And they actually got into a really good conversation about shows like, for example, Resident Evil, not specifically like the early 2000 shows, like movies, but actually basing it off of the video game, which we are now seeing with the new series that are coming out over the next 2 years. When it comes with like the anime and other ideas,
The movie.
and IPs that in the movie.
Yeah.
And then talking about things like maybe like Silent Hill, but actually basing it off of the actual video game rather than kind of their own rendition. So what specific video game would you like to see as a live adaptation?
Mario, check your DM first.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you, Sly. Sly, what video game would you like to see as a movie or a show?
Oh, this is painful. I have so many ideas for things that I would love to see, but I'm trying to imagine if any of them would be as meaningful in a different format.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean?
Like what?
Because like
thinking?
my gut feeling, we've talked about it for the past like 3 episodes. Gone Home is like it's still one of my favorite games, and that story meant so much to me, especially at the time I played it. And like, but I don't feel like that would be as impactful as the movie. I think it really benefited from that walking sim vibe and being able to explore that world. So I don't think that would I don't think I would want to see that as a movie. I think that would ruin it for me.
Okay.
So I'm trying to think of something else.
Well, while you're thinking, I know Mario's pulling up a picture here of Elijah Wood for you guys.
Yeah, you want? So I'm trying to remember who Elijah Wood was. It kind of got lost in my mind. Is this Elijah Wood? Give me 1 second.
I'm pretty sure this is Elijah Wood.
Is this Elijah Wood? Give me 1 second.
Oh no, what are you bringing up?
Oh yeah, that's Elijah Wood.
Is that Elijah Wood?
For sure. Yeah, for sure.
Is this Elijah Wood? Everybody?
Yeah.
I don't see it.
You have to look at the confidence monitor on Twitch.
Oh, you don't have that. You don't have that up.
Oh, you don't have that up. Oh, I'm sorry.
1 second.
Hold on. There you go.
Oh my god.
That's Elijah Wood.
It's Elijah Wood,
Isn't
right?
That's Elijah Wood.
No, that's not Elijah
Hold on.
Wood.
Pull up another picture. Hold on. Maybe
give me
maybe it's just the shot. Maybe it's just how in that photo. Maybe
That's Daniel Radcliffe, by the way.
No, that's Elijah Wood. That's definitely him.
It's definitely Elijah Wood.
No, that's not Elijah Wood, guys. That is.
There was a joke forever ago that people would call them each other. People would call Elijah Wood Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh no, for sure.
And they would call
what
Daniel
you talking
Radcliffe.
about?
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. This is clearly Elijah Wood. I don't know.
Look, hold on. I think Mario's pulling up another picture.
Here's another.
That's totally Elijah Wood. That's a Hobbit right there.
All right.
Okay,
I'll answer for you.
All right, thank you for making the podcast longer, Frank.
Monster Prom. I want Monster Prom as a movie.
God.
I think it would be great. I love the team. They're doing great things. Their stories are so fun. I think Monster Prom would make a really fun movie. It would never get funded, but pie in the sky dreams. That's
I don't know. That seems like something the CW would pick up.
That's an A24 film. You know what I'm saying?
But then wait. Okay, here's the thing. I think they would bring it up as a show, and then they would cancel it so they could continue the trash heap that is Riverdale.
All right, that's a choice. I mean, I haven't seen Riverdale. I've heard trash and call it the best thing since sliced bread. So I have no idea who to believe anymore.
To be honest, yeah,
no idea.
Yeah.
Isn't that the show with Stephen Amell's brother?
No.
That's all I know about it.
No, it's not.
No?
It's
Okay.
not
Then I know nothing about it.
You know Matthew Broderick killed 2 people in 1986?
Yes!
Oh my god. Okay.
I'm not going to talk about
Mario.
Riverdale, but it was good. I haven't caught up with it. Anyways, yes. That's an interesting question. I mean, we have so many options. There's one that I really want, but I'm not going to steal it from Frank. It's probably going to be his answer, so I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
Honestly,
if it's Metal Gear, then that's not the one I'm going to say.
No, then fuck yeah, I want Metal Gear. Give me Metal Gear. No, actually, I would really love to see the movie Oxenfree done as a movie. I think that it works really well as a video game, but Oxenfree just fits the vibe of that I love. You know, it fits the Goonies vibe. It fits the Stranger Things kind of deal, and that's something I dig.
That might be good as a TV show.
TV show would be really fun, especially if they could explore
That would be a
multiple
great
seasons
show.
repeating itself. So I think
yeah.
that'd be very interesting. It's a great game. Everyone should play that game.
And what would you say, Frank?
Mine could actually be used as a TV show or a movie.
Okay.
I really hate video game movies in general, mainly just because I feel like they're all lazy. It's like, hey, let's just take something that's already written out for us. It's never like a multiplayer game, it's always like something that's already pre-written for people, and then they just kind of adapt it a little bit and change it up to like fit a movie thing. I don't like that shit. I think it's lazy and it's boring. I don't want to watch the same thing again. But what I do want to see is something Fallout related. And the beauty of Fallout is that it's an expansive universe. You can technically take a drop in a pin and some random person and create a whole movie around them, and you can do this tons of times. You have tons of lore there to write with. You have tons of people you can write the lore about. It could be used as a TV show where it's like Tales from the Wasteland, where you just have a new character every episode of just within the scope of the Fallout universe. It doesn't necessarily have to follow one character, which is why I love the idea. And every character within that universe is kind of big in their own way.
Yeah, I think that would be a great anthology.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Something.
And you could even
I
do it
think
like
that would be
Avenger style too, where these
Yeah.
characters
Right?
eventually meet up. They could become a party, like a fucking RPG. But yeah, that would be cool. I think something in the Fallout universe is definitely well due for some kind of adaptation. I just don't want them to redo a story game like that.
Yeah. So one of the ideas that's floating around that would be cool would be that each season's told from the perspective of one of the vaults, and I thought that'd be interesting.
That would work.
Yeah.
Like each vault has their own lore and everything like that, so you can even do like the even fucked up vaults where you just put one man in there, and you have a whole season of this where it's just one dude and the whole vault's just filled with rats and teddy bears.
Yeah.
I think that's what that vault was. Fee probably knows what I'm talking about. It's just a vault with one guy filled with nothing but rats.
Yep. And there's the one with the mannequins, and then the guy who lives with a bunch of clones of himself. There's just
Aries.
there's a ton of different vaults because they were I apologize for the spoiler for a 20-year-old series. They're all experiments by the US government.
Yeah.
So it wasn't to save the population for the most part. It was mostly just for experiments to see how people would survive. And then they had the actual vaults that had the rich people in it, but some of those didn't even work out properly. So
Gotcha.
yeah.
Okay.
No. I think one of the ones that they even mentioned during the episode of Hot Ones was having a Grand Theft Auto show, but specifically like Grand Theft Auto 5, because there's so many like crazy people in that video game that you could like bring it on to like a TV, like almost having it like, what is it, like a Breaking Bad type of scenario where you have those like crazy characters, and then obviously if you've never played a Grand Theft Auto game, like I had up until this year, it's just drugs, sex, and money. Like it's just all this where a lot of people enjoy watching stuff like I loved Breaking Bad, so having something like Trevor and all those crazy shenanigans. The casino, like the fucking casino in Grand Theft Auto 5 is like that entire storyline itself is like one of the most absolute bonkers things that I've ever seen when it comes to a plot in a like multiple quest arc. It's just so crazy. And no, I think like a lot of like it makes sense, and I think some of the ones that have been a little bit more successful have been kind of like the horror video games moving into a movie space and TV show. And then we've seen recently with The Witcher, and hopefully it does well, which is The Last of Us, which I am still kind of eerie about and concerned that it's just going to become The Walking Dead. That it's just oh my god, I can't even like what would I a lot of like one of the ones that I would have wanted to see as a live action has already become a live action, which was the Ace Attorney video game. There is actually an entire live action movie from Japan, and it's really well done. So if you've never watched that movie before, definitely watch it. Obviously there is the anime adaptation, but they actually made a live action version back in the early 2010s. I'm trying to think, like it might be 2010s, maybe like very, very late 2000s. But I agree that there's a lot of like when they get into an actual movies format that it gets a little bit gimmicky, or Hollywood just overdoes it completely and just destroys the idea of it. Like, I wasn't a huge fan of the Resident Evil movies,
Mhm.
and then the Silent Hill was okay at best.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
there was like no explanation. Like, for example, Pyramid Head, like,
No.
really interesting character. Absolutely nothing in the movies other than it was a scary guy with a pyramid on his head. But it's just no. I would have probably not defaulted, but like ended up saying like Fallout as well. But I would see it as a TV series. It would definitely be more of a serious kind of one. But I think there's definitely some, even with like Fallout 4, there were so many different options. We don't need to pay attention to the main story arc because who cares about the sun? But there's just a whole bunch of characters that were introduced, and so many things that happened. Like, of course, you're gonna have the fucking Brotherhood of Steel. Like,
have an episode all about the Brotherhood of Steel. Let me pitch this to you really. I have one more answer question, but let me pitch this to you real quick. You start how you would start this Fallout series, right? Mm-hmm. It starts just like a radio show. Like the old school, it starts black and white, and it's on a radio, and you're hearing what's going on instead of it showing you. Just somebody talking about it as if it's an old school radio show, and it slowly transitions into being like live action through this radio show, and then it kind of leads on from there. But I would love it for that like old school, old timey like startup, like in the Fallout universe, because obviously if it's showing a radio, it's gonna be a broken radio. Right, it's gonna sound like it's a Herbert Daring Dashwood type story, but it slowly devolves into like live action through that old school kind of old radio like story type deal.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool, and having the whole like radio show aspect of it, and I think like a promotion wise, they could do like a podcast at the beginning or like a radio stunt before they actually introduce the actual show.
Like. Yeah, there's audio drama called What's the Frequency, which I'm thinking similar vibes to that for how they would do the show.
It would have to be narrated by Three Dog. There's no other way. It would have to be always narrated by Three Dog. Hey, Three Dog here. Anyway, my last pitch for this thing, because I just thought about it right now, and I think it would be perfect because they have attempted it and they failed fucking miserably at it. But I would love somebody to have another attempt at it, either though I don't like the style of movie anyway. Is Max Payne. Max Payne is a series that almost writes itself, which is weird that nobody has made a good attempt at it, because there is the what else his name? Mark Wahlberg movie, and it has almost nothing to do with Max Payne at all. But if you've ever played a Max Payne game, you know these are way more driven than action.
I think it would be better as a show for sure.
I think it'd be better as a show. I think we should, if somebody does attempt it, it has to have action in it, yes, because it's a Max Payne game. But read the story first, and then realize that the story is way more important than the shooting that happens in between it. The shooting's the fun part. The story is even better than that.
Yeah. So overall, the vibe that I'm getting out of all of this is horror video games can be movies. Like that works because it can just be one thing that happens. We've seen the movie, like horror movies becoming actually pretty decent video games depending on the situation. R.I.P. Friday the 13th. But a lot of the story arcs, like, and I know and I'm not gonna divulge in any it too far, but things like the Heaven's Word expansion can be fucking Game of Thrones show itself, because there's so much drama and intel and like backstabbing and stuff like that. Like, quite frankly, for the people who've never played this game, it's like they took a season of Game of Thrones and they based an entire expansion on Game of Thrones, because there's like multiple different things happening in one city and they're all trying to do one particular thing and try to win and become the all-powerful in some cases, or trying to take out other things or whatever it might be. There's dragons in it. It's fucking Game of Thrones as hell. And you're up in the north, so every single time it's just like winter's coming. But winter is always there. But no, I think
it's always snowing.
No, there are definitely some games that could definitely become shows, and then horror films should be movies. Thumbs up.
Yeah, and until we seal them, we are wrapping episode 23 of the Point in Progress podcast. It was a tight 90, turned into an almost 3-hour podcast. So,
Yeah, look,
we thought we wouldn't be able to do it without Harv. Harv, definitely voice of the show.
it would have been 3 hours with Harv.
It's like 2 hours, guys. As a heads up, it's been like 2 hours.
Yeah, we did start kind of late, didn't we?
Feels like it's been an
So,
eternity.
we're a tight 2 hours and 22 minutes, but we're wrapping it up as we go.
You know what? At least we're less than Limas. Like we have accomplished.
But you have to keep into account. You have to keep into account, Mario. It's 2 hours, but we got through actually every single segment this time.
Yes, we did, and we'll definitely retool the show the way to make that work every time, so that way we can have a segment, because I do miss it. I do miss having these conversations with someone passionate about something and explaining it to why you should see it, or giving out a hot take, which we would do. We need to do more of those. But again, thank you everyone for watching us and for listening and giving us love in the chat, giving us love at our YouTube channel, which, the videos, they're coming out sporadically. Oh, the one thing I didn't mention, the housekeeping, we had a new show that came out this week. It was another episode of Point in Progress, which a Point in Progress, a spinoff show, Point in Conversation, where it is me interviewing someone and just talking about general life stuff, which of course yes, Nordog, yes, another full progress bar. Talk to Nerf Alice, aka Alice Matthews, and we just talk about life in the emo phase and Pokemon cards and all types of fun stuff that normally we don't have that kind of time to do, and just had a wonderful hour with them. So definitely check that out. It's already available on our audio platforms and on our YouTube, as well as where you'll find all this stuff at youtube.com/pointinprogress. Sly, where can people find you on the net?
Find me at CycloneMC pretty much everywhere. But I want to shout out this week my TikTok. I'm about to make a TikTok once we wrap this up. Yes, it is about Sebastian Stan. Don't judge me. But I've been trying to make more TikToks, and that's been fun. So please check me out over there.
There you go. Fantastic. Fiona, where can we find you?
You can find me here. You can find me on Speaking of Stadia over at the Game Source Network. This coming Tuesday, where we're going to be talking about all things Stadia. You can find me on Twitter at Zoranix, and you can also find me. My training class is now over, guys, and so for that reason, I will be doing Twitch streams in the evenings again, whether it might be some Final Fantasy content, or I might be doing some artwork. I will not be drawing.
What the hell did you say? Hinterian. Dude, if you don't draw that, I don't know how you live with yourself after that.
By the way, it's like literally the Centurion like outfits. If you don't know what a Centurion looks
Yeah,
like,
I know
it's literally
exactly
a
where you're
Roman
going with this.
warrior. Anywho, I digress. You can just find me there. Woo.
Frank, where can we find you on the net?
You can find me here at Point in Progress. You can find me on Twitch at KestrelNA, where I talk some shit. You can also find me on the streets where I'm doing bad shit.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You can
Find me on these fucking streets. If I see one of the streets, slapping the shit at you.
You can find Frank doing tricks on the street.
No.
That's
no,
right.
On the
no.
south
Turning
side.
trick.
Look
What
like
is
you're gonna
turning
get
trick?
arrested.
South side of the Chicago.
And
If you want to see
Don't
it.
laugh.
He's doing puppet shows.
I'm selling skooma on these streets, son.
Oh my god. Don't
And with-
ask him what that is.
I
I'm
can't
not-
wait for the day that Frank is not on the podcast because he got arrested for saying some whack shit.
Oh no, dude! I will do the. I'll still be on the podcast. I'll be like, officer,
Frank.
please let me borrow your phone so I can live stream in this fucking prison.
Frank, off stream, we got to talk about getting you a green screen so I can pretend like you're in jail. Anyways.
I was about to say off screen. We're gonna talk about getting me put in prison.
Yes, we're going to talk about doing prison shit. You can find me at Trick Daddy Dungeon. Yeah, I love it. Of course, you can find me youtube.com/Point in Progress, where hopefully I'll be doing more episodes of Point in Conversation. It's not going to be a weekly thing. It might just be maybe a once a month thing, honestly. At this point, we're just testing it out and seeing how it works. If people like it and if I should continue it. But you can also find me doing my Halo show at youtube.com/thatMarioRivera, where I have every week a new Halo guest playing through. We're in season 2. We're doing Halo 2. I haven't got a chance to promote the fact that I made it to season 2 on the show. So yeah, getting to do all that. And then Harv, of course, you can find at Beard in the Hair. They're on the good old twitch.tv/beardinthehair. He also has a gaming channel, youtube.com/Beard in the Gaming. Is that it?
Beard in the hair.
Beard in the Hair Gaming.
Beard
Beard in the game.
youtube.com/Beard in the Hair Gaming.
Gaming.
Yeah, sorry he's
Get
not on the
with it.
podcast.
We hear this every week.
That's right.
Sorry he's not on the podcast this week. He's currently selling skooma at a Taco Bell for me. And getting me Baja Blast.
Couple beers deep.
Nah, we all know why he ain't here. All right, he's zipping that daddy dungeon or whatever the hell it's called.
Oh my god. Why?
He's in
Playing-
Vancouver with friends. What the hell is your problem,
Playing
dude?
boyfriend dungeon is
What
he's
is it
doing.
what is it with people saying daddy nowadays? It's just so
Daddy.
weird.
Like it.
Daddy?
And it's not like young people either. It's like
And with that,
It's not about the daddies anymore. Now it's about the zaddies. Get with
oh
it.
god, that's even
and
worse.
with, and
Anyway.
with that, zaddies have been made. Goodbye, everybody.
Oh,
Progress
God.
has been made.
Shout out to Anna Kendrick.
Shout out to Emma Stone.
I fucking quit.
Well, there we go. The podcast
You'll
is over.
never see me again.
There we go.
Oh my god. Okay, there.
There we go.
Mario,
Yes.
can you cut my what if rant? Because I really want to turn that into a hot take
Yeah,
and like bring receipts
that's fine.
and like do it justice.
Oh my god. Just so I could just say no. Okay.
Yeah,
fine.
I mean the answer's still gonna be no.
Yeah,
you
that's
can.
fair.
I
No,
look.
I
I'm
just-
one to.
If I'm going to have that conversation on the podcast, I want to
You
do
should
it
make it a
justice.
video.
I want to bring receipts.
You should make it a video.
I should do that.
All I'm
Yeah.
gonna do
Write a
is I'm
script.
just gonna pop in and be like, "There's multiverse and there's love for everyone, and they can love each other in multiple
I
ways." and
agree.
there
It
can
could
be-
happen. And Loki's proven it. So there you
Oh
go.
my God.
Okay.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
There's multiverses, but also everybody's perspective on their viewing of something is valid, and whatever you take away from it, you
I agree.
take away from it.
I agree.
But
I do
I
agree with
just, if I'm gonna have that conversation on the podcast, I want to do it better justice than I did than just randomly yelling
Fair enough.
about it.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I do think it'd be a great video though.
Okay,
do
I'll
think
do.
that.
Yeah, I'll do a video essay on how every time Marvel tries to make that ship straight, they make it more gay.
Okay. That's
Really,
fair.
every time
That is fair.
they just make it gayer.
Lev Star in the chat. Are you streaming right now? I think you're streaming. You're streaming, right?
Are they streaming?
They're online on my screen. On my YouTube app.
They are live right now.
Okay, well, I'm actually going to go ahead and send everybody on off. We will not be playing games tonight. Obviously, Harv usually is in control of you guys playing Final Fantasy.
Also, I would probably do it if I wasn't dying of heat and probably.
That
just
is
gonna
true.
hang out in my
And me
fan.
too. These lights are bright. I have to do a lot to run this 4K camera, so
Yeah,
I
I need
definitely
water.
definitely taking a break after that 3 hours Zaddy, whatever we did.
I've had a migraine for like
Yeah.
3 days.
So there you go. We're gonna go ahead and just send these viewers on over to you, buddy. Enjoy your stay. Enjoy your playing. Thank you everyone that's been here, and until next time. Goodbye.
Later.
Bye.
Sending in them.
Y'all, Romanian music fucking slaps.
Romanian music?
Yeah.